Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo. This is our MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and many online. And this is our Awakening panel on the theme of love, relationships, twin souls, soulmates, all these different things around relationship. There are 5 of us that are on the panel tonight. It's free to be here to listen and learn, and it's a small price to ask a question of the panel. The information's in the chat. There are no breakout rooms for this event. For this event, we stay all in this main room. And we answer questions from the audience. That is what this event is designed for. If you're interested in breakout rooms, we have a fair coming up next week on Tuesday from 5 to 9 p.m. We'll have about 16 practitioners, and then we have 1 hour altogether, and then we have 3 hours in breakout rooms with lots of talks and group healings and all that kind of stuff. So tonight, yeah, free to be here to listen and learn. It's a great opportunity to open to your intuition. As people ask questions, you can see what arises for you and what answers you would give. And find out what answers we give. And often you'll learn lots of things from hearing all of our different answers to all the questions. And you can really ask us anything. We practice tons of modalities, and we have that great theme tonight too. And let's see, letting more people in. We're gonna have all the practitioners introduce ourselves first. So practitioners, let's see if we can first introduce ourselves where we just talk about our work and what we do, just the full range of all of our work. And then let's loop back and talk about the theme tonight, okay? So we'll do our best. Oh, and Susy just made it back in. I'm so excited. Yay. We're having crazy tech stuff tonight. I'm going to spotlight those of us that are on the panel tonight, and then we will get started. Let's see where Susy is when she gets her video on. Oh, Susy, there you are. All right, great. Okay, let's see. So let's go ahead and so let's do Audrey, Henry, Susy, Gio, and then me, and take a couple minutes to share. So we're sharing just first this time about our modalities, and then we'll come back and talk about the theme.
Okay, thank you so much for having me today. My name is Audrey Lee. I can be found at audreyleemetaphysics.com. My specialties include astrology, numerology, tarot, destiny cards, and just communicating with anybody, with animals, with your past loved ones, anybody that you want to talk to, that you have an issue with, or that you cannot understand. I have been doing this since 1980s, so I've been kind of I'm old. Okay, so I in my practice, I feel that relationships are so important because they reflect who we are, and so not only that we want to make sure we have we manage our relationships and have a good time, but also we are in this spiritual progress. Learning to be who we are, learning to be better, learning to march toward perfection. So relationships are the necessary tools for us to see ourselves. And in astrology or in destiny cards, we can often see how the relationship, the foundation was from a previous lifetime or a spiritual past. And I think that's really important. That sometimes tell us if you are more dominant than your partner, or if you are possibly like an older, the elders, like a mother or a big sister to your lover, or maybe he was your boss, or just all different kinds of situations. And then coming back into the present lifetime, perhaps we can see that we are coming closer, or we are growing farther because we need to develop our other circles of friends. So these are all things that are very, very important and helpful to our present attitude toward relationships. And hopefully, I'm sorry, I've gone too far. Hopefully, we will have a very interesting conversation with everybody today. Thank you.
No, it's great. And don't worry on this part, like we go slightly outside the 2 minutes, whatever. And Susy popped off, so hopefully she's coming back in. Henry is next.
All right, so yeah. So this was really great, Audrey. I was listening with great interest. I just always love how we all have different perspectives. And so there's really, it's great for the guests here tonight because everybody's bringing their own special gift. My gift is twofold. One, I do feel divinely guided. I'm a tarotist, life coach, and spiritual director. So I help people get in alignment with the divine self, finding their purpose. And I think that having a soulmate relationship comes out of coming into alignment with yourself. You don't have to be completely in alignment, just at the beginnings at least, where there's your true self, and then there's also the social self, or the social mask, as we talk about it sometimes. And as you become more and more authentic, is another way of saying that, the more you set the stage for soulmateship, and I like to call it soulmateship. And that certainly was my finding. I was in a number of different relationships, trying to change people, trying to change myself, and I was 46 when I met my husband 17 years ago, and he's my soulmate. And so I'd love to talk more about this evening about what's involved in that. And we were supposed to talk about our work, not the theme, but I've completely forgotten it. So I do tarot readings, and I have a special this evening, really a good special. If you want to get a reading with me, is $20 for a 30-minute session and $30 for a 50-minute session. That certainly is totally affordable. And you can just set up an appointment by going to henryindiaholden.com. I have 9 seconds left. Blessings
It
unto
is.
all of us.
I know you kind of wandered into the theme a little. Did you want to say anything else about just the range of all the theme, or the range of all the modalities you use, or it's up to you?
Yeah, yes, I use, I do life. Thank you so much, Laureli. I do life coaching. I do spiritual directing. So I help you develop your relationship with the divine in whatever way works for you. And I do tarot. And I use the tarot for guidance. Get very magical.
Great. I say you use tarot in that very intuitive way. And
Yeah.
I want to say one other thing that's going on with tarot. You don't have to. Do you want to say this other thing that's going on?
Oh, yes. I think I know what you mean. Yes, I am working on a tarot deck, and it is gorgeous, and I'm loving it, because every deck I look at has some part of what I want, but none of them have all of it. So my deck is very sort of advanced, like the way we think now. So understanding what ego is, understanding what higher self is in this newer way. Then there's I'm really including everyone. I include people of different races, of different ethnicities, abled, other abled, like the Chariot is someone in a wheelchair, for example. How wonderful is that? And also I'm including all other life, like rivers, oceans, animals, because we're all part of the same family. So I include all of us. And it's called the Mystics Tarot, and I should have it by Christmas.
So exciting. All right. Well, thank you, Henry. All right. It's for everyone here that's listening. This is a journey and a community, and we all support each other to share how great we all are and what we're doing, because we all have lessons. All right. Let's see. So Susy's next, and then Gio.
Okay. That means I have to learn how to work on my phone. Okay. So life is a learning experience, and that's what I get to do here in front of everybody. So my name is Susy Parker Goins. I am a channel and energy healer and a guide. My business is called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. Let's see. I'm not going in the order I usually do, so pardon me. Channeling means I bring divine through, and I'm able to physicalize that energy in such a way that it's accessible to you. So if you like working with a particular guide, say Michael or a galactic or anybody or some other kind of thing, most likely I can bring them through to give you somebody to look at and to talk to, so that you can have that conversation with source in such a way that, I don't know, it feels to me to be more impactful, having somebody else say it to you, pardon me, and then having a guide talk to you and you can see a face associated with it. You can trust it. Energy healer, I'm a Reiki master. I can do body scans. I help you identify what blockages and I call them blips that you have in your body. And it's through breath work and visualization that we can release those energy blockages, so you can be more relaxed, have flexibility, actually identify things like, oh, I don't know, maybe there's that past life that's hooked on your shoulder somehow. That's another thing I love to do, is doing past life explorations. Let's see, I have a podcast called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I'm still rolling on that for now. I will be taking a couple of months break in the next few weeks. I don't know when, but I cover all sorts of topics on there, things that I'm interested in. I learned so much from it, not only in the metaphysical realm, but also in, like, I can edit some stuff now and figure out how to do things. And I've had an opportunity to talk to some amazing practitioners there. The topic tonight is twin flames and soulmates. A little
We're going
bit
to come
about.
back and talk about that too. I just want to pause you.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
anything else
Thank
you
you.
want to say about you and all that you do?
Okay. Okay. So I think that's it. Yeah, because I've been wandering about on the interwebs. I kind of don't know where we're at. So there we go. That's it. Oh, bluelightninghealing.com is the website. You can use 60 MeWe 20 to get 20% off a 60-minute session. Blah, blah, blah. What else? Yeah. Blue Lightning Healing Meditations, bluelightninghealing.com. You can contact me at Susie@bluelightninghealing.com. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Susie. I appreciate you working with the new technology. And I think, you can swipe to the left and see like more people and all that. Do you know about that stuff?
I do now.
Great. Great. All right. And we'll give you more Zoom tips on phone. All right, Gio.
Hi, I just heard a loud crash. One of my birds dropped a pumpkin. Hello, my name is Gio Lundgren, and I am an intuitive marriage and family therapist. My background is in psychology, law, and marriage and family therapy. I've been practicing as a therapist for about 8 years, and I specialize in solving problems. I'm very analytical, communication issues, resolving conflicts, and increasing happiness and personal growth. Obviously, relationships are my thing and have been since I was about 16 years old, which is why I'm attempting to be on this panel today. But I'm new to the intuitive world. I've been working for Laureli, actually, as her behind the scenes bookkeeper and other things for the last year. And my gifts decided to open themselves back in the spring. And it's been a wild ride. I've looked into oracle cards and at the moment have settled on tarot. I have about 50 decks total. So yeah, I'm into it just a little. And let's see what else. I realized I'm claircognizant and clairvoyant. I started a business called, what is my business? Intuitive Therapy with Gio, and I have a Facebook page. And I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Thanks so much, Gio. That's great. Yeah, Gio often helps like with setting up all kinds of different things about this and some of the marketing and all the admin docs beyond the fair and all those kinds of things. So yeah, she's getting to learn to be on the front of the stage. So let's see. Let's mute you too in case your birds are sharing again. All right. It's a big bird. It can knock over a pumpkin. So I'm Laureli. I'm an intuitive eye reader, a body psychology coach. I believe that we all read eyes all the time. You can think about when you've met someone with dark sunglasses and you can't see their eyes. There's so much missing. And as soon as you see their eyes, there's so much there. So I read your eyes with a set of archetypes, read your soul, that I call the archetypes thrive types. And in reading your soul, I read your natural talents, how you communicate, what motivates you, what you're passionate about, how you can easily do all kinds of things in your life, how you protect yourself, what your lessons are. My aim is to help you better understand yourself and your path, and then make choices to express your purpose. Where's a great place to work? Who are great people to work with? What kind of business might you want to start on your own, and what might you want to hire other people to do versus do yourself? If you're in relationships, I can help you understand the people you're in relationship with if you show me photos of them or I meet them. And I love to use this work for matchmaking too, and I'll share more about that in a few minutes. And yeah, my body psychology coaching is a way of helping you be more in tune with your body and the messages that you get through your body. So you can, again, in the moment, get feedback. How do I feel? What do I want? What do I not want? How do I go about addressing that? If I feel stuck, like how can I release and cut cords, like things from the past? There are all kinds of ways that we can utilize our body to shift when we get stuck, or to cut cords, or all kinds of different things. So this is the range, the work that I do. I'm a coach in all kinds of contexts, hiring consultant, and my main thing is with my eye readings. It gets mixed into everything I do. So let's see, and I have special today. It's 40% off to do work with me if you sign up soon from having been here tonight. Let's see, let's go ahead and let's have everyone start to talk a little bit about the theme tonight: love, relationships, soulmates, twin souls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, so let's everyone take another minute or two to do that. So go ahead, Audrey, we'll go in the same order.
Great, thank you. All right, so love has always been my own purpose, my own spiritual reason for being here. I've gone through a lot of different relationships when I was in my youth, when I was early in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and so I use that as my background to do counseling and to learn further about myself and my future goal. And believe it or not, the way I set myself up is that I think I'm going through an internship in this lifetime, in this physical world, so that when I go back to that spiritual realm, I can probably be like a karma placement counselor. That is kind of my goal. And I believe that we are in this, what we call a karmic park. It's kind of like a water park, water park where you have a lot of very long, tall water chutes, like a 2-story, 4-story high chutes, and you just kind of slide down the chutes, and that is how our karmic sequence work. And then so relationships very much take on that theme, where you came from, where you're going to, and so hopefully I can help you figure that out today. Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey. Go ahead, Henry.
Yeah, so what I know from my own experience is that you don't need to even believe in soulmates, and you can still have a soulmate. And I used to believe in it, that there was this one specific person and they were the one for you, and that was that. And then once you found them, you were in great shape. And then I found him, and we are not together. And then I thought that it was meeting this person across a crowded room, and your eyes lock, and they're the one. And I had that happen, and that was also not the one. That was also not my soulmate. And with Stephen, we've been together for 17 years, as I mentioned. With Stephen, it was neither one of those things, but I was interested in him. Who are you? What are you about? And he was interested in me. Who are you and what are you about? And we were interested in supporting each other in becoming fully self-realized. And that apparently is my understanding and my experience of a soulmate. And it is such a joy and such a blessing every day to be in the center of someone's light. And it's truly a divine experience. And I love helping people set the groundwork for this kind of thing to become possible.
Thanks so much, Henry. All right, Susy.
Okay, there we go. Soulmates and twin flames. I actually did a podcast on that. And there's a guy named Aaron Doty on YouTube who explained it to me in a way that I could get. We've got source at the top, and then we have an oversoul. And from there, we have little other branches off, like a higher self. And for me, a soulmate is someone who has a higher self that's kind of in the same group as my particular soul group. And a twin flame would be like half of a higher self. So you actually are twins. I hear people romanticize so much about their twin flame, but it's like I've known twins, physical twins in my life, and they were constantly at each other. So this is my thought, and it's open to interpretation, and I'm certainly open to learn other things about it. But I feel that twin flames are either really, because they are so alike, it can really be a complete destruction of ego, and where they go from that determines how great or how devastating it is. I've known people who say, I've been in a relationship with my twin flame and it was just catastrophic. It was like, it was like Joker walking away from the hospital and it all blows up, and this person was just totally devastated. And soulmates are kind of like, well, for me, it's kind of like a litter mate. You all hang out and you're working together, and there's this sense of that you've known each other for so long and you get along well. I want to backtrack over to twin flames. It's not always a complete devastation of ego. You can build again and become even greater. Think of all these great power couples who have been through quite a lot, and then they have moved on to be something absolutely a force of nature. So that's twin flames. And then soulmates they're kind of like, people and you've experienced a whole lot of lifetimes together, and you've got that shorthand that comes when you've got shared experience in some way, and it's usually in previous lives and stuff like that. I feel that my husband is my soulmate. I know we've shared many lifetimes together. We got together in 85, got married in 87. So we're talking over 32 years, 34 years. I don't do the math on it often, but we have had that journey and have grown and learned from each other. And there is that comfort in knowing somebody completely understands what I'm doing. And then I would also ask, when we're talking about relationships, people ask me, when am I going to meet the one? And my question is, well, you're there. What is your relationship with yourself? So that's not a twin flame or a soulmate, but that is a relationship when you're in that place of love, doing what you love, and not taking so much time going, those kids in the back of the car said, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And it just seems like it goes longer and longer. And yeah, I'm kind of a snarky mom. And I said, well, we're this much closer from the last time you asked. And that's the way it is with finding the soulmate, this one for you. And as a reader, I don't tell you exactly that time and place you're going to find the one, because there's so many variables involved, including your partner, that everybody's got to do their growth and everybody's got to be in divine alignment. And divine alignment to me can be so frustrating because divine timing is so much slower than human timing. And we want it now. But I ask that when you do work on finding your soulmate or your twin flame, whichever you prefer, that you work and see if you are the kind of person you would want to be with, and love yourself deeply first. I mean deeply first. And what else is there? Like falling in love with somebody's potential, but I think that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of variations on the definitions, and I honor that. And I think that's what I've got. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Susie. Go ahead, Gio.
Okay. Well, jumping off a little bit on what other people have said. For me, when I think about a soulmate connection, I use a very scientific word. I call it a click. To me, it's like just like an instant click. It's a familiarity. It's a getting along so well that you just can't stop talking. I mean, you're just sharing and sharing and sharing, and it feels wonderful. It feels like you've known them a long time. I can't say for sure whether you've met them before in past lives, but it does feel like a person of a similar sort of vibrational frequency. They feel very, very compatible, and it feels very, very right. Like you won't question it when you found that kind of person. You can have that click and that kind of soulmate thing in a friend also. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship or a partner. So I look at it a little bit broader in terms of just another person that you feel the click. That's my scientific definition of soulmate. Now, as for twin flames, I did just watch a podcast recently where I learned something that was new to me, and I'll just throw it out there. I was watching something where the archangel group called Theo, which is a group of 12 archangels, was being channeled by, I think, a gal named Sheila. And the wisdom I learned from this is that a twin flame, by their definition, is actually the same exact soul that's been incarnated into the same planet in the same time frame. And so it's actually like a split. It's the same person, basically the same exact person. And that was their definition of what twin flame means. And it's not always good, but it's a very intense and deep sharing and connection. And I won't be talking a whole lot about that because that's not really my specialty area. But what I do know a lot about is relationships and finding a good relationship. How do you know if you're in a good relationship? Resolving issues in a relationship, specifically communication problems. I envision it like this. A lot of times people are talking, but the message isn't getting through. It's not being communicated in a way that the other person can understand. So I'm good at helping people with that. And I also believe that if you're here in your development and you're trying to find a partner that's at least as good, you know, at least as mentally healthy as you, that, whoops, it's hard to do this in the camera, that basically you need to elevate your own self-worth, self-esteem, view of yourself, etc. You need to elevate that as much as you possibly can so that you can attract a great person to you. And that work needs to be done before you can connect with somebody else. Because if you don't do that, if you're feeling needy and lonely and desperate, you're more likely to attract someone that is of a lesser self-esteem and self-worth and mental health. And that's not a good situation. You're going to outgrow that, and that's not the right person for you. So those are the kinds of things I help people with. Thank you.
Thanks, Gio. And Susy is coming in again. And Susy, just be really careful with having both of them in audio at the same time. All right, great. Let's see. So, it's great. I get to share last. It's always fun to share last. I got to take notes though. Let's see if I can get this all out of me. So, and I'm going to use my body to explain the lessons. I think that we're all navigating lessons in dating, and relationships and dating are a great way to grow. I don't think we have to wait until we're like fully actualized in order to date. Like, we can date where we are. The trick is, do we date someone that's about similarly conscious as us? And do we date someone that can grow at about the same speed? So for me, those are some satisfying relationships. They're learning, growing relationships, and they could be soulmate relationships. It depends where we are in our lessons. And I read people's eyes to help see where they are in their lessons. So the basic lessons that I think just about everybody is going through, and I'm just going to play here with my arms as you're staring at me. So if this is you, right, and truing up to you, often we're attracted to people that are whoosh, just like our family of origin. So we want to get love and attention when we're little kids. That's our job. And if you're looking at my chart, is it this direction? I think so. And so our job is to get love and attention as kids. And so when we go to date, we go back to what works. We get nervous and scared. We go back to what worked as little kids. And so, we go looking for people like our parents, and we act in a way that's attractive to people like our parents. This is what we typically do. Some people are interested in the opposite of their family of origin, but usually it's defined by their family of origin. So I'm looking at your eyes and your ex's eyes, or your date's eyes, your partner's eyes, and your parents' eyes. And I'm like, oh, there are patterns, right? So this is the first pattern we're typically in. And you probably didn't love living with your parents when you were a teenager. And so then when you choose someone just like your parents, they're really attractive at first. It can temporarily soothe something in your heart, but gosh, it really doesn't feel good for a long time. All right, then the next lesson is that we're usually dating opposites. We're taught that opposites attract, but I think that we date opposites for a particular reason. So I'm me, right? And I'm aiming to true up to me, but like this takes me way over here, and an opposite takes me way off over in this direction too. Because like I like this and that person likes that thing, and I do it this way and they do it that way. And like we're endlessly, where do we go? And like, so it doesn't help me true up to me, right? So we're often dating people like our family of origin somehow and opposite us. And those are the people that we see across a crowded room when we're like, it's you. And they're saying it to us and we're like, ah. And so I think these are horribly painful relationships, although most of us go looking for these relationships, right? This is what we're taught to do. And we're totally attracted to these people. We're very sexually turned on by these people because, oh, look, they healed this wound. And oh my gosh, I don't like who I am. So I don't want you to really see me. And I think we need all these other things in the relationship that I don't have. So gosh, you've got them. This is going to be perfect. So usually we're dating these people all the time. We're totally attracted to them, but it really doesn't work well. It doesn't last long. And I think that's why we get divorced so much. All right. So what are some other options? Well, here's me. what about the people like me? Where are they? Sometimes we think we can't, like there are none, right? We can't find them. Well, it turns out that the more we love ourselves, when we look out in the world, we can see the people that are like us. When we don't love who we are, when we don't even like who we are, we think I should be more, better, different, blah, blah, blah. When we see the people like us, one is that we see into them really deeply. We can feel that, and we can feel them looking into us really deeply. And that is terrifying, especially if we don't like who we are. I'm gonna make sure I don't talk too long. And so all the people like us, we judge them the same way we judge ourselves. It's just horrible. So we're like, oh no, yuck, I wouldn't want to date me. Right. So if you have that thought, I don't want to date me, it tells you that you probably can't see the people like you. And I think the people like you are your soulmates. It's similar in some ways to what Susy was sharing. I think that soulmates have similar souls. And so I'm looking in your eyes, and I can look in other people's eyes, and I can tell, are they similar to you? And then online dating, I go looking and I can find the people that are like you for you to connect with. So you have to like yourself enough in order to be with someone like you. So with someone like you, right, they're like you too. Pardon my soulmate just came home, and so my dog wants to go see my soulmate. Hello, Tay, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. I may have to go grab him. Not yet, not yet. Okay, I'm gonna go grab him. Hold on. Come here, sweetie, come here. I know you love her too. So this is Elote. And yeah, so let's see. So when you're dating someone that's similar to you, the more you love them, the more you love you, because they're similar. So when you love them, you love yourself more. And when you love yourself more, you love them more. So people that are similar souled, they connect really deeply, really easily, really quickly. And so often the first date, it's just like whoosh. Whereas when you're attracted to someone that's like your parents or opposite you, you're not really showing up as you. They're not showing up as them. I can't go into all of it, but it's a mess. And then if you're getting to love yourself, then you're finally able to express your purpose. So the more you like who you are and start to love who you are, you're able to express your purpose. And for me, that's the fourth lesson in dating. So if you're conscious enough, and chances are you are, because you're here, and you're learning to like who you are, if you go looking for someone similar to you, so when you write your online dating profile, write something that shares who you really are, and go looking for people like you, and there are tricks for how to do all this, chances are you'll find a soulmate. Oh, now what do your eyes look like? What do their eyes look like? And how can I help you find people whose eyes are similar to yours and that hopefully grow similarly to you? And I've had a long lesson with this. I used to date my father when I was trying to start to see people like me. I asked a bunch of people out that were like my mom. I'm like, forget that. It took me years dating people that were more and more similar to me and grew at a similar rate and were similarly conscious. And I finally done it. And I've been with someone for 5 years that I met online. It is possible. All right, enough about me. Okay, thank you, Elote. All right. So anyone else in the panel want to share anything else about this whole thing? About the theme before we start answering questions? I guess, Audrey, I was not paying attention when everyone shared. Did you say much about astrology or numerology and how you look for people that are similar, or let them know?
Yeah, there's a thank you. So there is so much about astrology. It's not meant to be complicated. There's another method that I use with numerology, which is very simple, and that is also as extensive and comprehensive. But yes, when we look for people who are compatible with us, maybe we're looking for people of a lot of similar characteristics. I think that makes it easier. If you say, well, I'm attracted to the opposite, and that means, oh, well, you're water and fire, you want to live together. Or if you are earth and air, you want to live together. And that's usually harder, right? Because it's just harder to make those two kind of elements mix together. So we are really by logic, it's easier to find those people who are of same values. And I think that's what I found to be true. And I so enjoy you, as you were talking, you're kissing your doggy because that is your soulmate. And I don't know why, when I was talking, my cat kept coming up here. So I think our soulmates are our pets because they love us so unconditionally. And we're hoping to find that kind of love with another human being. And so, it may be a forever quest. So anyway, I'm forever hopeful. And so hopefully we will talk about your other half.
It's great. I love how the themes of all these different panels can kind of merge in, right? So we've got animal communication and healing as part of the soulmate twin souls. Love panel 2. Yeah, practitioners, anything else you want to share about the theme before we jump in? And if anyone wants to send healing energy to Henry, there's a request for that too. Yeah, and that's from everyone that's here, if you are willing. Yeah, definitely stuff going around. Right, we're in that fall, it's transition of weather too. All right, well, let's see. So maybe we're going to get to the questions. I know we have 2, I think we have 2 people in line. Let me see if we had 2 people pay, and yeah, they're both here. Okay, so we have 2 people in line. So we have Jacqueline and then Kimberly. So before we start answering questions, a few things. Oh, and you're welcome. People are appreciating the insights from all of us. Let's see. So when you ask a question, well, I guess if you pay to ask a question, please let me know in the chat so I know to go find it and get you on the list. Sometimes we get a lot of people wanting to ask questions. I want to get you in order. When you ask a question, I'll bring you up here on the spotlight, and and you can choose to be anonymous. You can choose to have a different name. You can choose to not be on video. You can choose all those things. So you're welcome to turn on your video and come up and be spotlighted. Spotlit. So when you ask a question, we may go deeper than you want us to go, or start talking about other topics than you want us to share here, where it's being recorded and will be posted online. You're welcome to give us guidance when we start, and please jump in and interrupt us and let us know if you want us to steer differently and what you want us to focus on here. We welcome all your requests about that. We also request that you allow the attention to stay up on the panel tonight with the 5 of us and whoever's asking a question, so that if something comes through you when someone comes up to ask a question, and it very well might, right? We believe everyone's intuitive and you all chose to come to this. You might want to write things down, because often what comes through is fleeting. And please, if you could hold it until we finish answering that person's question, that would be great. And then you're welcome to private chat them and ask them if they'd like to hear what came through for them, we believe, through you. And please honor whatever they share. If they feel full, they don't want it right now, please trust that it's just not for them right now, like it came through you for another reason. And yeah, please honor that. I feel like there's a third thing. I encourage you to learn from all that is shared. Yeah, just the whole process of talking about this and hearing other people ask questions, all of our answers, you usually learn a ton. We request that you pay to ask a question. That's what really supports us to continue to have these events. I do marketing and Facebook and posting all over the place and all those kinds of things. So it really supports us to do this. And we give away a free 30-minute session to one of you from one of us of your choice if you fill out the feedback form and win. If we don't have questions, we can answer some general questions and things like that. But yeah, we really appreciate you pay. It's sliding scale. It's 16 to 24 and $10 for BIPOC folks as a step to making reparations. Yeah, so hopefully that would work. And you'll probably hear answers from like 4 or 5 of us or something like that, whatever you ask. And it doesn't have to be on this theme, although it's great to have it on this theme. Like some people came wanting that theme, but really we can answer anything. And you may ask about this theme, but heck, we may go wandering over here. All right, let's see, we've got, so Jacqueline's first and then Kimberly. Yeah. So Jacqueline, if you want to come up front, I just need your video on and then I can spotlight you.
Laureli, just very quickly, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Audrey, sorry.
Okay, if any of you have a birthday of yourself in your interested party, please, if you can share with me, that would be helpful.
And do you want just the birth date, or do you need like place, time,
Just
all
the
the
birthday
stuff?
would be fine. Yeah, just the month and date would be good.
Okay, great. Jacqueline.
Yeah, thank
Zoom,
you.
let me find you. Zoom has changed and it's not bouncing you to the front like it used to. So now I have to go figure out where you are. There you are. Okay, great. Interesting. Zoom keeps changing. All right. So thank you so much for wanting to ask us a question tonight. What is your question?
Oh, well, thank you. It's difficult to verbalize a lot of, because it's such a broad topic, and the topic itself is very fascinating. And the question that I have would be something like, what happens when you meet someone and you have that click or that connection, but then things seem to go awry and you're having problems communicating and they're not understanding? Do you think that's a sign they're not your soulmate? Or what else would you think about that?
And I know we're happy to answer the question that way. And if you have a specific example of something that's come up for you, if that's part of why you have that question,
Yeah.
if you like, let us know, we can answer about that. Or if you want to say just a little bit about that too, that might.
Let's see. Well, I met someone and we hit it off really well, and we were, really excited about communicating with each other. And then um, we were on the phone one time, and she said something. Talk soon, and I didn't respond right away, and so somehow she took that the wrong way, and thought that maybe, I don't know, but the next time I saw her, she was really agitated and upset, and I haven't been able to clarify that that meant nothing. I mean, I really think she's a great person. So I'm really saddened that there seems to be this big misunderstanding / miscommunication.
Okay,
'Cause
great,
it's-
great. Yeah, go ahead. I say it's great to hear. Yeah, more of the specifics of this. So we can
Yeah.
do this too.
I was just gonna say, and oh shoot, I forgot. Just that it seems to have affected the whole relationship. Like now she's pulled back and things like that. So I'm very curious to see what you all think about that, or what maybe I could do, if anything, about that. And that's happened more than once. That's actually the second time that's happened. Not that specific thing, but having a miscommunication or misunderstanding somehow that upsets them, and then you can't get through. I can't, and then I don't know what that is.
Great. And I know Susie's got her hand up. I'm going to say a few things first that I am. So those patterns I talked about, those lessons. So we often choose the same types of eyes over and over again. And that's part of why the same lessons happen with people, even though they seem like they're completely different people. We usually choose people with similar souls, and we're playing out similar lessons. So yeah, just maybe I'll say just that. Oh, and all of our family of origin patterns can get repeated, not just things that are obvious in the eyes, but all kinds of emotional patterns. All right, Susie. Oh, Susie, and then Henry. Yeah. Henry, your background is great. It's the same color as your hands, so I got to really look. Similar to Audrey. Okay, I can find these hands. I can do this. Okay, so Susie, Henry, and Audrey. Oh, and aim for like around 3 minutes or so each, and we'll see. We don't have too many questions yet.
Okay. I apologize. I didn't get your name. Jacqueline. I don't know why I'm having a problem with that, because that's my daughter's name. And okay. So Jacqueline, you've asked quite a few things, or at least I see them as different responses. First off, they're soul contracts. It is entirely possible for you to encounter a soulmate who during the in-between lifetime, you two have chosen to not get together, but there are still lessons to be learned. So that could be a layer of it, is that there's a soul contract. There are also basic relationship skills. And the more that you spoke about it, you talked about this repeating pattern. So I would encourage you to look there. Because she's not here, I don't know if I can check to see your past life history with her. I can do it from your perspective. There are past lives in which there were some, the ships that pass in the night sort of things. And I agree with Laureli. This is a repeating pattern, and it could be based on like what Laureli was saying when she was talking about how she dated her father, dated her mother, and looking in their eyes. There is a pattern repeating there. This is part of your soul contract with relationships. And that's one of the things that soulmates do, is that in the in-between lives, you'll go, well, okay, let's look at love. Okay, we'll look at love from this perspective. And you agree to do that. For this person in particular, I'm getting a real strong trauma response, and that it takes time and care. I would say, I don't believe that giving up is, or just just saying, okay, fine, move on. I think that there is some growth that can happen from this, not only on your part, but on her part. But you also cannot account for another person's response. And so if there's miscommunication there, that is part of that growth process, is to sit down, get her to a point where she can sit down and speak with you. But this could be such a traumatic response from her that it's difficult for her. So be patient with yourself, be patient with her. Yeah, there's some past life stuff to look at there. There are lots of meditations, and you can do that. You can do that in meditation and talking to your guides to do that. I don't think we have the time or the space to do that here, but yeah.
So when you say trauma response, you mean she was traumatized?
I think so. That's what it feels like, because it's not coming from you.
Right.
I'm getting that feeling of trauma's going on, and there's that, so I'm thinking it's from her. You know, it is very possible that she does fear rejection for whatever reason. I'm not going to assume. I don't know. But it's just such an intense response. And without having permission, I really can't dive deeply. But you know, how do you handle somebody who's got a trauma reaction to an event? You know, going gently and compassionately. And I feel that you are very much in a space where you could do that and you could be in that place. But it is, of course, getting past that gatekeeper of emotion from her, getting past that gatekeeper.
Just share the 3 minutes, so just see how you can pull it together.
No, I that's what I've got. I'm not going to get anything else right now unless you want to watch me look off into the distance, but I don't think we want that.
Okay, yeah, if you get something else right, you can come back in a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah. Henry and
Thank you.
Jacqueline, I immediately had a certain understanding of it, but then I was like, while I was listening to Susy, and I always love listening to you, and also you, Audrey, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I pulled 3 cards, and I've never seen a spread like this. So I pulled let me stop my thingy here, so I don't go over. I pulled the Strength card, which the way I understand it and the way I was taught it is that the lion is representative of the ego, and this is the higher self. And so strength comes from having agency over the ego's basic drives. Then, if that weren't enough, I got the 8 of air. So that the Strength card is the 8th card. Can you see that? So what that means is that the strength affects all the 8 cards in the other suites. So now we have 8 of air. So this, the way I see that right now with a reading to you, is about having agency over your mind, because our thoughts just run rampant. Our thoughts are just doing what they're doing. We very rarely think intentionally. So we're having strength is when you have agency over your thinking. And then I pull another card, and it's the 8 of fire, another 8. So we're talking agency, 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 agency. So this is action, right? Fire is wands, is action, and it's realization. And so I'm really seeing here for both the 2 of you that what is needed is inserting agency. I believe it's true. There's a trauma response going on, which simply means that the person is triggered. Something has happened in the past and the person is triggered. And then they're running off what has developed, the responses and the experiences that have developed from the past. And it's probably happened multiple times, maybe many times throughout this life and other lifetimes. And so if the 2 of you sit down and say, what here is our higher self? What here is our egos? Because the ego is not necessarily selfish. The ego can also be afraid and scared and self-protective. And so you can like say, why don't we try and discern here? What is ego, which is also story, and what is who we really are? That is like not incendiary. That's not like a what's going on with you, but like arms around the shoulders, us, we, let's talk together. And the hit that I got immediately when you were talking is that there is an experience on her part of a power imbalance, that either she likes you more or thinks she likes you more than you like her, or
Yes,
that
I
that
think I get that impression.
yeah, and that she needs you more than you need her, that you're more self-reliant than she is, that you're more self-contained and more self-possessed than she is, and that all of that is all versions of the same thing, that puts her at a disadvantage is her experience. And so you can try and reassure, but it may not land on fertile soil. Because when there is no security within self, these reassurances are very short-lived, and then you got to do it again, and it doesn't really ever, you never really saturate. It's like a dried soil. You never really saturate it. The water just runs through. And so sitting down together on the same side of the table and say, why don't we talk about who we're being? Like, what is the operating principle here? What is driving things here? Is it our egos? Is it our past? Is it our needs? Is it our dreams? It's our higher self, etc.
Well, there were actually both of them. There have been metaphysical synchronicities. Really, that was part of the connection. I always feel that's a big part of the connection, is when there are synchronicities with the person. And both of those people, and this most recent one that I'm talking about, is there were a lot of synchronicities.
Yeah. So. Then the sense I get is that these are learning experiences, because we start out with that we really haven't a clue, and then as we grow older, we get clued in little by little, and most relationships are just laying the groundwork for the final relationship. But I think if you sit down together and I have no question that there's something more going on here between the two of you, that it's not just something random. I mean, can it ever really be random? I question that, right? So there's a purpose for the two of you to be together. But if you discuss together, where are we coming from? You say, where you like, can you tell me where you're coming from? What's operational here? Then that's like a friendly conversation where you can get vulnerable rather than talking about the problem. Because when you talk about the problem, you're kind of blowing the problem up with all this attention.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let me stop here so that Audrey can share her wisdom with you. Thank you.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks, Henry. Go ahead, Audrey.
Thank you. I love hearing your perspective, Henry. So please don't stop on my account, whatever. Okay. So the few things that I pick up, Jacqueline, about your partner is that she's very private. There are a lot of things that she may prefer keeping to herself first. Of course, when we meet people that we can trust, that we have decided to include as our other half, then we will be open, right? We will trust, and we will, and of course, there could be various reasons. It may be an upbringing type of reason, or it could be her own personality that she just likes to be very private, like, oh, only need to know you. I'll tell you whenever I want to tell you. But there are just various reasons that we must understand, or we would say, okay, I accept. So first of all, that is what I pick up about your partner, is that she has kept a lot of things to herself. And if there is a wall, she hits the wall, and she prefers not to tell you, like, oh, I got hurt. She would just say, okay, let me try to digest it myself. So, that could be another reason why it's slower for her to come out to say, well, this is my issue, my problem. What do you think? It could be rejection on two sides, double-sided, double-edged sword. I'm sorry. So, those are all the different things. Okay, but I do feel that the two of you have come together because of some mutual reasons. Or maybe it's like, I'm your mirror, you're my mirror. Maybe I need to work on myself. Like, let's say you, Jacqueline. I feel that you need to work on yourself because your immediate response I've seen in this reading today is the emotional side. Like, oh, I'm hurt, or oh, I fear. There is a lot of that emotional immediate response. And then her side is that she's afraid that she used to get too scattered, or she's like a free bird, and that she needs to work on the partnership. So I think the two of you have that mutual, like, what are you lacking? What do I need? Okay, so you come together to work on some kind of a mutual purpose together, even though it looks like, oh, it's different or the opposite. But I do feel that there is a good reason to hang in there. Because I can see that the relationship will continue on, even though there are still, questions like, oh, what should we do? How do we adjust to this? So that maybe illusion or confusion may continue for a bit longer, but there is a good purpose for you to come together. So don't just throw it all away yet.
Great, thank you. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Thanks, Audrey. All right, Gio.
Hi. That's not what I got, unfortunately. So being consistent with what I said earlier, that a good relationship tends to have that click. And I specifically said it should be effortless, kind of like feel effortless, like the communication is flowing and the ideas are flowing and there's mutual joy, which means it works like right away. I mean, for me, that's the definition of soulmate. So when you described what the pattern was going on of miscommunication and misunderstanding, to me, that's not a good sign right off. I get from that, I think I agree with, I forget, Henry or Susy or someone that's, Henry was talking about past trauma on the other person's part. I agree there's something going on with the other person, not with you, but I'm getting more of a, that they might be intimidated by you or feeling lesser or on guard, wary, like they're putting up walls, they're putting up defenses. And I don't know if it's from past trauma. Yeah. Oh, Susy mentioned past trauma. Okay. Well, I'm agreeing with that. There's something going on with the other person, not with you, that is a wounding of some sort, that's causing them to feel guarded, distant, putting walls up, feeling intimidated by you, I think. And that's that wall you're sensing, the lack of communication, the lack of listening is because they're pushing you away. And I mean, you're asking for our opinions. In my opinion, that's not a good thing. And but there's some things you can try. So I have a suggestion about that. So basically, I think that the other person needs some individual therapeutic work to overcome whatever that automatic push away response is, because you're coming from a place of love, right? I mean, that's what I got, right, Jacqueline? You're coming from a place of connection, of reaching out and caring and love, and you're being greeted with a whoa sort of response, which is not what you want. I don't think that's what you want. But some suggestions are, there's something called nonviolent communication. Don't know if you've heard of that. It's, well, you can look it up, NVC, nonviolent communication. And it's very much speaking from the heart. So it's a method of communicating that I would suggest you try and use. This is something you can do. Very much from the heart. Let's see, if I wasn't on Zoom, I always use this offering like from your heart, and then you're taking your heart out and you're offering it. So that's like how I envision what you're trying to accomplish. So it's speaking from a place of vulnerability for you. So like you need to just open up and be as vulnerable as you possibly can be, which means no judgment, no accusations, no labeling, no name calling, just talking from your heart, saying, I care about you. I want, what's good for our relationship, or, just no accusations. And speaking from a place of vulnerability. And if that doesn't bring this person's walls down to the point where they can actually hear what you're saying, it doesn't look good for the future. If you can't crack through that,
Right.
that's just,
I
does that
did
make
wanna-
sense?
Yes, thank you. I did want to add though that when you were talking about the click, that is what happened at first.
Mhm.
Both those times, definitely, really strongly, and it was going really well. And then all of a sudden, did this out of the blue kind of, well, I'm not sure what it is. Like I said, but that click definitely was there at the beginning and for a while. But both times this kind of miscommunication, and then I don't even know what happened.
Well, it's because it's not you. It's not coming from you. You're probably fine. It's just how it's being received is not good because of what's going on in their head. They're interpreting it in a way that is scary and calls for walls to go up and defenses and to push back. So that's what you guys need to work on, is getting rid of that response, and then maybe it'll be great again. But that's what's in the way right now.
Right. Great.
In my opinion.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah. And so just some of us, not all of us, went a little long this time, just FYI. I know Susy's got a little bit more to share and I got a little bit to share. Just so sometimes the benefit of going first is we go a little long. All right, Susy, go ahead and you jump in and then I'll go.
Okay, when we're talking about this click, Jacqueline, I got a very clear hit of somebody thought it was too good to be true. And that's when guards go up and you just kind of question everything. So I do agree with what Gio said. It's like, here's my heart. See what you can do and see how that goes. But that's what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Susie. All right, let's see. So I'm a fan in general of focusing on our own part, because that's the part we can change. That's the part we can do something about. Not for blame, but just like that's the way we can do something and shift something. And like, so you chose these two people with whom this happened, right? So there's something about you that's choosing people that are prone to this.
Huh.
Right. So that's the thing that you can do something about. And I started off writing about your eyes, and then I went into like possibilities of all these things that could be patterns. So from the things you've said, how is this familiar to you? How is this familiar from childhood? Things like someone pulls back, that you feel confused, that you're the one that's taking steps to figure things out, like that you're holding wanting to do more growth. You're putting a lot of care in for the other person, maybe more care in than they are of you. Yeah, just some things like that. I also use like, are you staying in your center of gravity, or are you bending off your center of gravity to go meet them? And I have the sense that you, like in some ways you pull back, but then you're doing right the first thing, maybe you pull back. They said something and I didn't hear your word. And it sounded like they said something toxic.
No, no, I didn't say toxic.
What word is it?
I'm not sure what you are referring to. But
When you first described, you said with one person, you said they said something and you said some word. And you paused.
Well, I was trying to, when I was describing what happened.
You said this happened to me one time on phone one time, and she said something.
Oh yes, we were having the, oh, I forgot. I said exactly what she said, and that was talk soon, not toxic, talk soon. And then I didn't respond like right away in kind. I think I kind of said okay or something like that, not very, hearty response. So, and I think she totally took that the wrong way. I mean, sometimes I'm just spacey and it wasn't, it didn't mean that I don't care about her or anything like that.
I get that. But like, so that you said something and the person didn't understand you and they misinterpreted it. Like, how are these kinds of things similar to childhood? Just because chances are we repeat these kinds of things.
It's odd because that's not, my family's not like that at all. My mother was a very good communicator. She was not, I mean, she was,
So
they were.
who did you, is there anyone you had to take care of in your family? Is there anyone that you had to hold like more consciousness and tried to draw them out?
No. Our family, my immediate family is very, very good, close knit, and actually very good at communication.
Yeah, so these are the kinds of things that I look for. And again, well, and yeah, and so about your center of gravity, like how much are you in your center of gravity, or how much are you bending over to her, or yeah. So
I'm definitely doing that.
Right. So then who else have you done that with in your life? And were you taught, or did you have to do that in any way growing up? Is to just go look to see where you might have learned those patterns.
Oh, to get out of my center of gravity. Oh, that, yes. I mean, I find I do that kind of with a lot of people, just, to get to for relations to be good. So that with my family, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a general thing for you to work on with you, of like how to be loving of you, to stay in your center of gravity and be willing to meet people that are be willing to connect with people that actually meet you, right? You're each in your center of gravity and you can connect, right? And what does it feel like to do that with people? Looking for where is it, in your life, who's anyone where that's true, and let yourself feel into that relationship and how it feels good, right? And like, I'm worthy of this. And then just playing with, like, think of the people where that happens, and then imagine dating and the people where that happens and dating, and start to let yourself connect those together. And then in terms of your I also just, it's also possible there's something really unhealthy, emotionally, mentally unhealthy, psychologically unhealthy about some of the people. And like, you won't play the game with them the way that you paused and somehow hesitating and not playing a game, like, in that they want someone that plays the game with them, and that's part of why they're backing off. So that might be a good thing that they back off, right? It's not a good person to be with. I love the ideas of attempting to have honest conversations. And then I also, looking at your eyes, chances are you probably have priest, priestess, and scholar. Priest, priestess, often in relationships, they get caught seeing potential of someone and dating the potential, not where someone is right now. So I just encourage you to focus on, how is someone showing up right now? Do you like how they're showing up right now? Not where you're holding the space to attempt to grow them. And then also your scholar wants to understand. And so I kind of going back in a way, some ways to maybe what Gio said, like, does it feel good? Right. I want to be, in general, I think it's great to be in relationship with people where they can get messy with you and you can grow through the mess together. Like,
right.
It's not perfect. And
right. Oh, exactly. Thank you. I really agree with that. I think that both of them kind of have vulnerability issues. It feels like if I trigger something, then there's a wall, and I haven't been able to get.
And I had the question whether, and I got to stop because I've gone way over too. If you have the server talent, or they have the server talent, and if they do, it's where their heart's not really fully open and they get triggered and shut down easily and they get hurt easily. And if you grew up with someone like that and you had to hold extra space to take care of them, that's exactly the way that you're playing out that pattern again.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
You want to look for people where you don't have to be too delicate and too careful, and like that you might hurt them. And you want someone that's robust as you are.
Oh, okay. That's
sensitive as you are and robust as you are.
Great. Okay. Thank you. That's all very helpful. Thank you. Wonderful.
Very welcome. Yeah. Anyone else have anything really quick before we've got 3 in line? I think a 4th person is wanting to pay too. So thank you so much, Jacqueline.
Thank you
for jumping in and letting us share with you and being the first one to get started.
Can I just mention?
Yeah, go ahead, Henry. Go ahead.
My hand is up and apparently you can't.
Oh, sorry,
see.
I can't see. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Just so real quick. So the sense I'm getting. So first of all, I really love that when you're saying that, Laureli, about that maybe, Jacqueline, that you're not, maybe not consciously, but there's certain games you're not willing to play. and sort of like prove to me that you really care kind of games,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Ah.
And the interesting thing is that oftentimes when we're not willing to play that game, then people really want to play that with us. It's just sort of like it engenders that. And I heard you say two things that I think are a great entry point, just like Laureli was saying, that you can't do anything about them. You can only do something about yourself. And I really loved everything that you were saying, Laureli. That was really great. And I'm thinking, you were saying you're spacey and that it doesn't mean anything. So I think that anything might be, it doesn't mean I don't care. Is that true?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. And it made me think of my husband. They're very spacey a lot of the time, very, very spacey. And I mean, really like to the space, staring off into the distance, spacey, like internally and externally. And I knew right away that this would trigger something in me, that they didn't care enough about me to be fully engaged. I just knew this. You know, I was 46, so I already knew some things about myself. So I said, you know, when you like this, it's wonderful. I'm happy for you. Just know that this can trigger me. And so we worked on something that he could do and that I could do when this happened. So I agreed to become curious, like, where are you? What's going on with you? Do you just not would like to have some time away? Do you need your own space? So getting curious about it, and that he would share, like, yeah, I'm just really feeling spacey. I worked very hard and I'm just not really quite present. And then put this into a space of allowing, where it's okay that I'm asking a question. It's not scary. It's not a persecuting him. And it's okay for him to not be able to be present right now. And I'm not going to say, you don't love me enough. It's just sharing with each other what is so, and then being with what is so. And you
Right.
can work this out in conversation with the other person. And that way you get to be as spacey as you are. You don't have to change, but the other person doesn't have to feel neglected as a result of it.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you. Thank you. That's a great idea.
Right. I want to say, Henry, you and your partner both have this trait that can be spacey, and there are different expressions of it, and there are other traits that are involved. So this is a great where you all have something in common, but like that person's is more extreme than yours, and then the sensitivity and all that. It's a beautiful example. That was great. Great solutions. Well, thank you so much, Jacqueline.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
You are welcome. All right. We've got Kimberly, Monica, and then maybe someone else coming in. So Kimberly is next. Let me go. There you are. Let's get you up here on screen if you want to be there. Just turn on your video and then I can put you on spotlight if you want that. All right, great.
Okay, can you see me?
Yeah, what
Hey.
is your question?
Okay, so I almost feel like I was in Jacqueline's position. So I'm dealing with kind of like starting to do the dating thing and talking to people, connect with people in different ways. I'm not going to go through all the ways, but so I normally have in the past been with water signs. I've only been out of maybe with one Virgo. So the signs that I'm dealing with one right now is a Gemini, an Aries, and I think the other one was maybe a possible Sagittarius. I'm not sure. And he kind of flaked off the sites. I don't know what's really going on with him. He hasn't been replying. But the two that I'm dealing with right now, I'm just curious to know where they're at. Like, and so yeah, I'm getting back into the dating scene myself. So I feel like some of the stuff that Jacqueline had got answers to, it's kind of resonated with some of my stuff and my personalities and how to be, as you're dating and, that sort of thing. So I'm just trying to get a feel and a gauge for like, I don't know if I'm like, being a Scorpio, sometimes I can be very deep and intense, sometimes fast and right away.
Great. And did you get I know you said some of your things about your chart. Did you, and patterns, did you get the information to Audrey on your birth date and month?
My birthday's November 1st.
Woohoo. I'm Scorpio sun too. So yeah, we're around our season. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no one has hands up, so I'm just going to jump in and share a little bit. So you've got the Sage talent. Sage is abundant and playful, loves community, loves like full body play. And so I want you to date other
Yeah.
people that are like that. And so a big thing when you're connecting with people is how playful are they? How forthcoming? Like how much is communication important to them and is it easy? You're relatively quicker in pace. And so I want them to also blah, 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 you know, like this, like when you see them on video, like there's almost
Yeah.
like rolling play that's in their body.
Yeah.
That's what I'd love
It's
to
kind of
see.
hard. I'm having a hard time I'm having a hard time finding that, I guess. Somebody that I
So,
don't know.
so with online dating, you want to actually look like you can feel this playfulness in their photos online.
Okay.
You want to pick up playfulness. So
Okay.
not just that they say they're funny, but do they write where it really feels funny? Do you really enjoy it? Like are there
Okay.
stories in what they write? And do they look like they're just blah and they're in there, you know, and they might, chances are they have other people in their photos because they're social. Even though it's been COVID, chances are they found a way to
Right.
be with other people. So you want to look for people like that. That's what I would recommend for you.
Yeah.
So if these
So
people
like the guy
are
the
introverted,
Aries guy that I went seemed playful like that. Like he seemed very funny and playful. So it was like I'd actually went on a date with him and it seemed pretty good. I mean, it's only been not even a week, but like now it's kind of like, I don't know where's that right now.
and just part of what's, you know, can be a little trickier is people that have this talent, they love abundance. And so they might go out with a whole bunch of people at once too. So in that way, it might take a little
Right.
while because they're dating this person and that person. But I think it's good for everybody to date with multiple people so they don't get attached to any one person.
Right.
Because it's more, it could be someone that's really not good enough and they settle. So yeah,
Right.
date abundantly
Okay,
and look for
yeah.
these really playful, like fun-loving, community-connected people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Audrey's ready. Go ahead, Audrey.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi,
So,
Audrey.
hi, good to see you. Okay, I feel that this is a very interesting time of your life. I do think that you are looking for someone who is, more stable, solid, maybe to have fun, but at the same time, you do want that qualification for the future, some kind of criteria that's good for the future. So
Right.
I feel that you're not quite ready with these two that you kind of mentioned earlier. Maybe they're not just, they don't give you that feeling that they are it. So there is
Right.
one that is very fun loving. I could see, how that could be fun, but not quite ready. I think maybe you, after a while, you will feel like, oh, I work harder than you, or I'm more serious about life than you. So, but just think of him as a friend, be sociable. That would
Okay.
be terrific. And then there's another one I think you mentioned, I'm not sure which one, but anyway, I think you mentioned a second one who is a lot more introspective, more quieter, or, he's a little cautious. So again, I don't feel that he's the one, even though he's got a good sense of managing the family. He wants a family, so a family-oriented person we like, right? A lot of times that's like a good hook. But however, I don't feel that he is the one just yet, because he's a little bit tight with his money. And so anyway, these are just various spontaneous things that I picked up. But I do feel that you want to stay online, get to know more people. I think that is wonderful for you, because your life is going in that direction where you are open to friendship, for more people to impress you, nice guys to show you a good time. I do see
Right.
that. Yeah, so keep going that way.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Audrey. All right, who else wants to share with Kimberly? I know Henry is feeding Annabelle right now, so Susie or Gio, if you have something. And Kimberly, if you have photos of any of these people, you can text me too. Oh, we have 2 sets of cards happening right now. Let's put your number in the chat. Yeah, if you want, you can send me photos of them too. So yeah, it's one of you.
Sure.
Gio, go ahead if you.
So hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Gia.
Oh, and we got more questions coming in, everyone. So I'm really going to try to hold us to 3 minutes. So go ahead, Gio.
Okay. When you were describing your question, I didn't really get a question or an issue or anything where I felt the need to give advice. So I pulled some tarot cards for you. So what I got, by the way, these are amazing cards. Do you know about tarot? Just curious.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Okay. Well, you got some absolutely great cards. So, oh, this is so tricky. Okay, so the first one you got is the Chariot. And so this is basically someone who wants to go somewhere. So that would be you, and you're trying to get something you want or go where you want. But the Chariot card implies a choice, because the two creatures driving the chariot, they're all different in different decks. They often want to go in different directions. So the point of that for me is that the person driving the chariot, which is you, needs to be very clear on what you want. Which direction do you want to go? And in order to get there successfully, you have to have that firmly in your mind. Don't be wishy-washy. Envision your destination. Envision exactly what you want. And then it'll be easier to pick it out. And this is in the form of a guided date. It'll be easier to pick it out once you see it, if you already have it kind of down what you want. Okay, then next you got the Four of Pentacles, which doesn't appear to have anything to do with your question, but maybe this is just advice from the cards. So the Four of Pentacles has to do with material things and hanging on to your wealth. So it means you've got a hold of something good. You don't want to lose it. And so in this reading, it could be one of two things. It could be either that you have wealth or goods or things of value and you don't want to lose them. So make sure that whoever you're dating isn't trying to take them away. Or it could possibly mean that this is something you're seeking out, or a variable or a factor in what you're looking for. Oh, and the final thing is that if you're hanging on to your wealth so much that you're not getting out and experiencing the world, that can be another meaning of this card. And I would suggest you use your intuition to determine which one of those meanings applies the best to you. And then the final one, you have it all. This is the world. This is like having 2 major arcana out of 3 is very good, and the ones you got are very good cards. So it forebodes very well that that you will get exactly what you want, because the world means you have it all. So that's what the cards have to say for you today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that.
That's great. Thanks, Gio. All right, Susie is all set.
Hey, Kimberly. I love it.
Hey, Susie. Nice to see you again.
So Gio started pulling cards, and I'm like, well, I'm using an oracle deck, but that's a whole nother panel. However,
I'll take whatever you got.
Everything she said, I'm like looking at my cards going, it's that one and that one and that one. So I'm going to give you my perspective. The first card, this is an oracle deck, Earth Magic. It's called Veiled or Fog, and that I agree with Gio. I mean, it's okay to do a scatter shot looking for people, but you need to figure out what it is you want in a partner. And you know, you can be flexible, you can be very detailed, but also be open to the possibilities. Find somebody who is at a level you're willing to accept at this point, not their potential. The next one is for activation, and that's when you start looking and imbuing your search with the energy. You've got a lot of energy that flows through you, and you can, Reiki or use energy or whatever on this list that you've created about your partner. And then the last one is Radiance, which looks a whole lot like the Sun card. You are a brilliant person, and you've got that energy that is so infectious, that joy that is so infectious, and you will find somebody who's out there, but you got to figure out just who that is. So I have every confidence in you that it's going to happen. It's just, human timing, divine timing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you were talking about that earlier. Well, there goes my question about asking if somebody coming around the corner soon.
So there we go.
Okay, thank you for that.
Great. We did really quick, everyone, and I know Henry's going to be back. But Kimberly, is there anything else you want to share, just in terms of responses to what we offered? Because
No, I just needed some advice and guidance. I know what they're saying, like to try to pinpoint like exactly what I want. The problem is that I know what I want. I just feel like people don't know what they want, and so it's kind of a making it a little bit challenging on the dating
well, it's
on
great.
the people I'm dealing with, I guess.
So maybe I would spin it around, and anyone else, feel free to jump in. I'm just going to play with her for a little bit here. Are you willing to let yourself have what you want?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm putting like from the former relationship, I'm setting my bar higher too
That's
of
great.
what I want. I mean, I want to have fun too, but I mean, I am setting my bar higher, but the people that I'm connecting with and that I feel connected to or drawn to, it just seems that when I get drawn to them and then I find out more about them, they're not quite at the level where maybe I'm at.
Right.
So
So I'm
trying to go with the flow, and then just try to feel it out, because I know I'm a little more, if I like somebody, I get a little bit more attached, I guess, or like, you know what I mean?
if you like somebody, you get
A little, yeah, like a little emotionally attached, like
emotionally
maybe too
attached.
soon
Yeah.
or too,
So that's why.
like that.
So that's why it would be good to just keep dating lots of people so that you don't get too attached. And then I'm just going to check one
Right.
time. Are you willing to let yourself have what you want?
Yes.
Okay, great. That was better. You had this like a
Yes.
pause the first time. I may not have said it in a way that was clear.
Oh yeah, well, I guess I had to think
Pause,
about
and
it.
then- so that's like the gap to play with. Yeah,
Okay.
great. Yeah. So you're really letting yourself, because how would you know if it feels like what you want?
I know what it feels like, but I just, I just can't get it.
Well, so that's
I
what
mean,
you
in
gotta
my
look, right?
head,
So
in my
the
head,
rating
I plan
scale, right? How much are you having what you
like,
want?
I mean, like what I want is like a 10. So it's, I mean, it's going to take a while to get there for the 10 that I want.
Yeah.
That's for me, you know what I mean?
And great. And I'm gonna, I know Gio's got something else to share. And like, so is 0 to 10, right? Kind of the top and the bottom of the screen. I'm just playing with her. So if you're the 10, right, is what you really want. And then where were you dating before? Like what number on that scale?
Well, I just started dating.
Well, several years ago, whenever it was, when you were dating
Oh,
before, the last people you dated, where were they on that scale? What number? 3,
got
4?
well, no, I thought they were up there. They were probably maybe 8 or
Okay.
around maybe 8 at the time. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, but that was a long time ago. So now it's been like 12 years since I've been
Oh,
now
wow.
back in. Yeah, it's a long time.
It's great. I was
So,
gonna say if they were like 3, 4 before, then like go for a 7 or an 8 now. 10 is great, but like 7, 8
yeah,
is great progress. But yeah, they were at a 7 or
yeah.
8 before, okay, 9, 10, sure. All right, Gio's got something else. And then Camry, I can't remember if you did share with Kimberly or not. And so if you do have something you can share, yeah, Gio, go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to point out that it's fantastic that people are interested, and that you should see that as a compliment, like that feels great.
Right. Yeah.
But my warning is back to the Chariot card. Don't lose sight of what you want. Like,
Right.
it's okay to feel flattered, like, oh, they're interested, but if they're not the right one, don't go there.
Right.
And then
Okay.
also repeating my previous advice that whatever level of mental health you're at, aim higher, not lower. So don't
Okay.
settle for someone that doesn't have their poop in a
Right.
group, as one of my friends likes to say.
Right.
You know what I mean?
understand what you're
You
saying there.
deserve
Yeah, because I'm
good things.
intuitively
So
feeling that now with like a particular
Mhm.
person. Like, this one's, he's playing too many games. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like, I
just
don't know
move
already.
on.
Yeah.
Take the flirt for what it's worth. Let it make you
Right.
smile, but that's not the right one. You can do better than that. So
Right.
that's just my advice.
Thank you
again.
for that.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, great. Just checking if anyone had anything else. All right, great. Oh, do you want a little bit, Henry, or do you?
Yeah, I'm even more spacey this evening than normally.
That's okay, Henry.
I invoked it. Who knows?
Oh, wow. Okay, so the cards, I was like, I don't have anything for Kimberly. I don't even know what she needs to know. I don't even know what her question is, which is, I'm not sure it's because I'm spacey or what, or maybe it's just part of the process. This is what I suspect is part of the process. So I'm like, because when
Okay.
all else fails, just pull the freaking cards, just
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
so I've got the world, Gaia. Can you see this card?
Yes.
Very, very beautiful.
Who's
I
helping
would
the
say
world?
this is you.
Okay.
Then I have awakening,
Yeah.
which is a judgment in the regular deck. But I
Okay.
see it as like, just like Joanna Powell Colbert, who created this deck, I see this more as awakening to your higher self. And then I have the priestess. Holy moly, moly, moly. So that's the one who knows what there is to know. So I see you in all these. I don't think this is a journey. I think this is you.
Okay.
But there's always a little but, isn't there? It's you, but you might not be owning it.
Okay.
What does that mean to you when I say that?
I guess I'm not really sure. Like, I'm not owning, like, I'm not sure how to take that as what I'm not owning.
Well, being the world is like complete. It's leveled up. It's success. It's a wholeness. It's being at home in yourself. Awakening is being conscious of your worth, being conscious of your place in the world, being conscious of your divine nature. Being the high priestess is you being aware of a higher level of knowledge. So this is all like if you were like a prophetess or something like that, this spread would make sense immediately on the surface. So I'm thinking that these things are already there within you, but for some reason you're not owning them. So you can keep asking questions like you don't know, but you're not going to get the answers that are going to make the difference, because whatever, like you already know the answer that makes a difference, and you're not hearing it any more than when we're saying it.
Okay.
Or you're hearing it.
I think I'm still in like, I'm trying to move. I still have a little bit of healing, like some more healing to do from the other relationship. So as much as I want to have another, be in something more solid and more another relationship, I still need to like heal just a little bit more, maybe from the former relationship.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, listen.
So I'm still working on that.
Exactly. I see. Look at this. How you suddenly have the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I know it's just a little bit more. Yeah.
2 minutes ago, you weren't acting like you had the answer. You had it, but you weren't acting like you had it. But now suddenly when I'm calling you out and I'm going, you're a higher level than you own, suddenly boop, comes an answer. You're not ready yet. So you're playing, right? You're playing in these relationships, but you're not ready to make that ultimate kind of connection yet, because you're going to bring the baggage of what you haven't healed from yet.
Yeah, I don't want to bring
get in the way. Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Listen to your own advice. It's always our own advice that's easiest to listen to, right? And yeah. Okay. Time. All right. There. Time. Thank you, Laureli.
Okay, and Audrey has something else. Just please be brief, and then we'll finish up. It's great. I'm so glad we waited for you, Henry.
Sure. Thank you. I just want to add something very quickly. Okay, so I do know that you are a very open, kind of humorous, very sociable type of a girl. And, and I think, of course, stability is what we want from traditional ideas of relationships. Like, oh, I must have a very solid relationship, and I know that you will do it. You will get it. You will get there yourself. But I think also the other side of the idea is to keep things light and fluffy, perhaps together that you will see that you'll be interested in may have a very nice sociable personality, and then you to match that to complement each other. You will also
Right.
be very outgoing and still, that's kind of yourself. That is you being you. So I think the thing is not to worry about the guy maybe being a little too sociable or flirtatious, or that he will be a nice guy. Of course, there is a trust. The trust issue is, oh, I trust you. I trust you. And having the relationship very nice and just like sitting on a cloud, very fluffy, that is great. That would be the ideal. That's what you're working toward. That's what the spirit guide is telling me. Yeah, I
Okay.
think, healing of yourself, yes. But I think that's also a state of a stagnated past. Perhaps you
Yes.
haven't been out, haven't let out your heavenly angelic self, and then so it is time to go and let yourself be fluffy again.
Right. And you hit the nail on the head with that one. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I'm thrilled that you're back out dating.
Okay, thank
Like,
you so much. I'll
connecting
be
with
talking to you
community is
soon.
so important. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right. Next, we've got Monica, and then Ella. So let's see, is it Monica or Monica? You are up next. All
Hi.
right. Hi, let's get you up here. All right. What is your question?
Well, I recently met with a psychic advisor who said that I would soon meet a very nice man. And the way she described it and what you all talked about with soulmate made me, I'm now curious, because she said, you will know instantly that this is the one. You will have a, instant connection. You will get along really well with him. You'll actually have a long-term relationship with this person. And yeah, I was kind of shocked that the way she described it was so wonderful, frankly. But yeah, so I'm curious, is this possibly my soulmate that she's predicting? Or something close enough? I don't know. Just curious what you all might get from me on that score. And the really strange thing too is I haven't really started dating. I ended a long-term marriage and I haven't started dating. And I said, well, am I going to date first before I meet this like wonderful man? And she's like, nope. So anyway, just curious what's out there waiting for me.
And how long have you been apart from this last person?
Depends what date you look at, but we,
When did you like your energy was really
it's
split?
been a year.
Okay, yeah, great. And a good year to like transition relationships, because yeah, it's easier to take a break during all this time. So to me, two of your talents are priest, priestess, and scholar. And maybe sage is maybe your third. Priest, priestess is, and the other person that asked earlier, Jacqueline, this applies to you too. I didn't say this when you were here. Priest, priestess sees not only what's here, they see what's possible. They want to inspire and motivate people to stretch and reach for what's possible. There's emotions to pull people forward. So it's just so important that they don't date potential, that they date where people are right now. So you feel emotions deeply. So I think that's your number one talent probably. So I think it's super important that you're with someone else that's really facile with their emotions. Chances are it's someone that has this talent already, but it could be someone that's done a ton of emotional growth, but it's much better if you have someone that has this talent. And then scholar likes to learn and understand, absorb information, build a map, answer questions, all that stuff. You have some looseness with your scholar, like your priest, priestess feels soft enough, not too attached to what you see, and your scholar feels loose enough. Scholars grow to be intuitive knowers, but they start off really kind of, so much in their head. So I think it's great to date someone that has these traits, but you want to date someone that's mature enough in these traits at the same time. And then sage, the Kimberly has sage. Sage is about community, communication, playfulness, and flow, playfulness and fun. So it's a flowing dance between people. So you're relatively extroverted, but you have priestess is only selectively extroverted. Like you want to do something deep and real and meaningful. So you want to find someone that's growing themselves, enjoys people and growth, but also loves learning. So the balance of all these things. And what I'd have to do really is see like what your ex looked like and get a sense of like how different from you this person was. And then as you start to be attracted to people, what they look like. But those are the kinds of things to go looking for. And the more that you really own this about yourself, and you really, and it feels like you're getting much closer to this, that you trust that you want these things and trust yourself to know, like, does this feel good or not? You'll easily like float away from the people where it's not good. And so you don't have to do much dating because you barely get in and it doesn't feel right. And you're off to the next thing. All right, let's see. We've got Susie and Audrey in line. Go ahead, Susie.
There we go. All right. Hey, Monica, I don't want to diss a colleague. She has created this sense of anticipation, which is all good. That way you're paying attention and looking around. But from my perspective, nothing is written in stone. It could be you pass in the night a couple of times, or you walk, and if you are so focused on, are you the one or are you the one, that you totally miss the one over here who is the one. So put yourself in a frequency of love by doing those things that ignite your passion, that ignite your excitement for life in general. And that's what's going to magnetize the soulmate energy to you. Let's see, nothing's written in stone. What else do I have? Focus on what you want. Oh, and don't let guilt in the way. So Laureli's talking about, as you work on your frequency, some people are going to resonate, some people aren't. Don't hang on out of obligation or guilt, or you feel like you had a duty to hang on to somebody in your life. Don't do that, because that's dragging down your frequency and putting you in a place where you're going to, I think Laureli did just say, don't settle. You don't want to settle. But focus on those things that excite you, raise your frequency to that of love, which will magnetize people to you. And yeah, give yourself time. It's going to happen. Give yourself time though.
Great. Yeah. And if you want to put your phone number in the chat to me privately, I'll text you photos of some other people that are similar, just so you can get an idea of looking at their eyes. I use people that I know as examples, so I don't want to put them all up on the video without permission, but I'll text them to you. I do that in sessions with people. You're welcome. All right, let's see. We've got Audrey's ready.
Thank you. All right, so, okay, I feel that there's a lot of this energy about you. It's not that you don't want to connect with people, or that you are, I see a lot of skepticism or being careful, wanting to think slowly or move slowly. But I think that maybe in your environment, there are some safe areas, and then there are some other areas that's too out there, too wild, or too whatever, too young, or too, so if it's like a work or career oriented place where people are mature, or that you know them, or you have common friends and things like that, so mature environment, I would call it, would be safe for you. And then there are people around that are not.
Really look at you.
Yeah, so they're not like, oh, I already know them. Actually, I do see somebody coming into like a social circle, or your aura circle. So I do feel that there are people that you would approve. It's just that you are usually picky and skeptical, or that you think, oh, I'm just not, I'll take it slow. I don't know. Okay, so that's the first impression that I get. And the cards I got, this is my new deck, the Misty Mondays. This is the Princess of Cups, and that is a card that's within your heart. So I do believe that you are like a little princess, like, oh yeah, I don't mind being loved by somebody, but that is very deeply buried or hidden in the heart. So only if the right person comes along, then you would say, okay. But right now, you don't see that, because again, you're picky. I feel that the person is probably about your same age, maybe a little older, but he has a very young outer presence that I see. Okay. All right. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Audrey. All right. That's a thumb, not a hand. I got a few photos I can send you. So, all right, you are ready. Henry, just FYI, you're not raising your regular hand today for some reason. Oh, sorry.
It was
Henry.
up. It was up. I don't know.
Oh, it was
what-
a thumb. It was a thumb, not a hand. That's why I wasn't sure if you were just agreeing. Anyway, who knows? I can see now. I'm going.
Oh, I
Yeah, now it's
definitely-
there. There you go.
I had my hand. I had the hand up. I put my real hand underneath the hand, and then it disappeared. I don't know.
It is the
but
thumb. Anyway, it's okay. I got it. I see you now.
This,
Go ahead.
I got to watch out that my energy doesn't affect this whole evening here. Like I'm starting to buy into. Oh, I'm spacey. So listen, Monica, it's not about me. It's about you. I really liked when Audrey was saying, you know, what she was seeing, and you just looking at your face. You know, there's certain, like she was saying, picky, or maybe having some second thoughts, or not. I don't remember exactly how Audrey said it, but I really felt like, yeah, I got the hit of that. So the cards that I drew, the tree and the 6 of air and the 3 of water. So that this here, so the story, in case you look back at this, you can see it. The story that this tells me is that perhaps your psychic advisor is correct, that you will meet someone. You know, I mean, who knows? Who knows for sure? Let me put it this way. And even so, I still feel that you're in a time of gestation. So with the tree, I see the tree usually meaning that you're either stuck, but you don't strike me stuck. I don't get that sense of you, that you're stuck. And maybe you are. I don't know. I'm offering this to you. You get to decide. Either stuck or in gestation. It can look very similar. When you're in gestation, then you know there's nothing happening, or overtly on the outside. And when you're stuck, also it looks like nothing is moving forward. But I feel that something is still developing inside of you. And then with the 6 of air, I feel like the hit I got was developing like a communal mind. Does that speak to you when I say that?
The stuck part makes sense to me.
Yeah. And what
Um,
about the developing a communal mind?
Well, I've gotten more social lately. It's not something I normally did in my recent past. Something I'm doing now.
Okay, so then
Become-
perhaps do more of that. And when you when you develop a communal mind, it takes it to the next level, not just going out there, but also like connecting spiritually with your community, seeing yourself as a part of this community, as a living part of this community. And then the 3 of water, you know, I'm just seeing, like, I mean, just look at that. Just, I love the way this card looks, just so much play. You know, Joanna Powell Colbert, who made these cards, and you really see the cards very similarly. That's probably why I love this deck so much. So I feel like being playful with your emotions. Just that, I feel like this is how this is going to work. This is how it's going to happen. Like, because even if this wonderful person comes along, you want to get ready for that, right? Moving from stuck to moving to ready. And so playful mind, I think, is something that, do you feel like you have that?
I'm working on it. I used to be pretty serious and more introverted, and I think through this transition, ending the marriage has really changed. And the stuck part is I'm stuck in a place I don't want to be, and because I haven't found the place where I want to live, you know, looking for housing. So I'm really stuck, and I feel like I'm not quite myself because I'm not in the environment I want to be in.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make the best of it, but that's the stuck part. And you know, socializing more, getting out more, trying to figure out what fits for me. But it's all new. All of this is new. I'm radically changing how I do things.
Yeah, so there's something brewing. Yeah, so I really feel that being playful is going to be like really huge for you, because I look at your face and I see it's very serious. Yeah, I have that too. I can be very, very, very serious for long periods of time. And how
Yeah.
I worked it out, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. How I worked it out is I got this really cute thing I put on my head with these cute little plush rabbit ears. And when I would be very serious, especially with my students, I would just go quick and get that and put that on. So I could get literally playful. So I think that would be helpful rather than just trying to aim for that to be more lighthearted. It's kind of hard to do, but there are external things you can do to help yourself. Yeah, thank you for the heart. So these little rabbit ears, I think I still have them. I should bring them out.
I'll look into that. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
That's great. Thank you. I sent you some photos. Did you? Oh, Gio wants to go. All right. Gio, you work for me. You got to learn to raise your hand in the software.
Ah,
Hard time. All right,
I'm
go
used to
ahead.
being behind the scenes. And also my camera is mirrored so that when I hold up cards, you can read them, which is totally messing me up.
Yeah, so Henry,
You'd think I would know which is my right and which is my left after all these years. Okay, so Monica, I looked at some tarot cards. They were good, but I decided to pull one of my like wisdom decks because I felt that you were more in need of some sort of advice or things to ponder, things to pay attention to, deeper stuff. So I have this deck that I love that I've never used before in one of these before, and there's some really great messages in here. So I just pulled 3 cards, and they have some good advice for you, and maybe one of these will be the key to figuring it all out. I don't know. So the first one I got is initiating friendship. So that's the first bit of wisdom here, and then it says, pay attention to your behavior and action as you form new friendships. Notice who you're attracted to and why, and don't worry about whether the other person likes you or accepts you if you make a mistake. It's okay. I learned something valuable from every interaction with another person. So I think that's good wisdom, because a lot of people, when they want to date, they just jump right into like, okay, who am I going to date? And this is basically saying, think about friendships, think about connections, be who you are and find someone who just thinks you're cool, just the way you are, mistakes and all is what I'm getting from that. And then this one is making the right decisions. And it says, today I will search for my own truth. I will allow others to do the same. I will value the worth of my vision and the vision of others. We are all on our own paths, making the decisions that are right for us today. So that's a trust your intuition. If you don't think if you suspect something isn't quite right, pay attention to your wisdom, pay attention to your intuition, follow your heart, and your mind. If something seems off, pay attention to it. And then the final one is an interesting suggestion here. This is healthy giving. Today I will practice healthy giving, understanding that caretaking and compulsive giving don't work. I choose what I want to give, to whom, when, and how much. It takes time to learn how to give in healthy ways. It takes time to learn to receive. Balance will come. And again, I think that's be patient. This message almost doesn't apply for you, but it's still a good message. Sometimes people want something so badly that they give too much and call too much and offer too much. I don't get the feeling that you're going to do that though. Okay, you're muted.
I said, you just described my marriage.
Oh, okay. Well, and then we have
Not
then we
doing
have the
that.
tarot card that I had pulled for you earlier, which is 8 of Cups, which is to walk away from a situation that's not working out for you. And that was the final card of the tarots that I pulled. So yeah, this is the end of your marriage. This is choosing to leave a situation that might be all right because you have 8 cups that are full, but it's not right for you and you chose to leave. Okay. And so the rest of the message is just take some time not to jump into something else, but think about it a lot, and it'll come eventually.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
All right, great. Oh, and I sent you some photos. Did you have any comments on the photos that I sent you?
I haven't seen them yet because I was.
There are two people, one that's very similar to you, and the other one is similar in some important ways and different. And I just want to get some idea of what it's like looking at them for you.
Are you looking for my reaction?
Yes.
Um,
Because you're either scholar, pre-sage, or
the
priest.
third one,
Yes.
the third picture stands out to me.
Let me go look.
The third picture.
So the first four are the same person.
Oh,
They
okay.
came in the same order. It's black and white, and then there's a blue shirt, and then there's a blue jacket, and then there's water behind. Is that the same?
There's
order?
one. It's mostly his head.
I can't see, but I want to hear it. No, I don't want to see it. Actually, I don't put it on the. Yeah, I'm just trying to honor this person. They're not coming.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We couldn't see it.
I was trying to be helpful. Yeah.
Well, So and then there's a second person. It's there's a
Yeah,
circle.
maybe because of the age that
Yeah, the person's a little bit different in age, but give you an idea.
right.
Well, yeah, and if you can't really see them, some of them are they coming?
I would just say I resonate more with the first person and particularly the third photo of the first.
Okay, well, yeah. So and then is there anything you can say about the other photos about that first person that are less interesting?
Well, the first one is looking up and away, so that I feel some distance there. The second photo, I don't know. I'm neutral to that one. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
No, so it's okay. So you can do this in your own private space too. But the looking up is interesting because priestess, that first talent, is really all about upward energy. And so it's I mean, this is a photo that was taken a long time ago about this person. So I think they were a little bit of wanting to look conscious in this photo, or they chose it because they thought they looked more conscious. So you really don't want someone that's trying to look conscious in that sense. But they're very, very similar to you. So whatever negative judgments you have of them, chances are underneath that there's this very similar negative judgment of yourself. And so this is a way that you can look and see it, how you get in your own way of seeing someone similar. So that's what it's like. So I used to think that these other people over there were dry and boring and geeky, and well, it turns out I have the talent that's dry and boring and geeky in their lessons. So it's totally way I was rejecting myself, right? And that's how I couldn't see anyone like me. So anyway, so that's just that's why it's so useful to see someone that's similar.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, and so the emotional connection in their eyes, that's something that you want to go looking for, right? That they love to learn.
Yeah, that's why I like the third photo the most. I really felt the connection.
Great. All right, sweet. Thank you for letting me
Is he available?
Example.
Is he single?
Probably not, unfortunately, but yeah, that's a great model. Look at this person.
Didn't know how far this example went.
If I know someone, but yeah, he's probably not. All right. Thank you so much, Is it Monica? Is that how we pronounce your name?
It's Monica. Thank
Monica,
you.
yeah, thank you so much. All right. Whoosh. All right. I know we've got one more person in line, and this person, let's see, if you can speak, it would be great for you to, oh yeah, and if someone wants to send me oh yeah, you want to send me a photo, that's right. I'm putting my number in the chat. So, whoops. Oh, there's a different you that you're not here right now. Let me go figure out what's going on. Nope, there you are. Sorry, this person was coming in and out a little bit. Let's see if okay, there we go. So if you can unmute yourself and come speak a little bit, it's up to you. Ella, if you want to do that, or I can read your question.
Oh, I could totally speak right now.
Okay, great. No, so
what do I say?
Well, okay. Do you want to just say a little bit about what I'd say, so Ella's concerned that someone may hear her. So she's going to speak really quickly and may not be able to stay on, and we may go back to writing. Do you want to just say what your question is right now, if you feel safe enough to say it right now?
I actually don't know exactly what my question is, but I'm just curious to find out about my marriage. My husband is showing interest, but at the same time, it's there's this ego that really kind of stops him from getting closer. And I just realized that I have stronger, I don't know if it's stronger, something about emotional intelligence, which he has never been exposed to, given that his mom was really strict. And so I'm at a point that I realize, and this is based on my birth chart, natal chart, that I need to learn from this experience and I need to be Lilith in the way that she's strong and doesn't give, I was going to say a bad word, but I'm not, doesn't really care about the repercussions.
And Audrey, look at the chat. I sent you some birth info. I didn't see it was in there till just now. Just want to make sure you got it. You wrote something earlier. Can I read off what you wrote?
Absolutely.
Okay, you said, my husband decided to separate. He's living in another place. I'm focusing on self-growth, but it has been challenging. He shows interest and then pulls away. And you sent us, yeah, so you sent both your month and day and his. Yeah, so Audrey's got those. Yeah.
And then I also sent the picture. Go ahead.
You're going to send a photo too. That's great. Yeah. A little hard to, I think we got it. Yeah.
And so he's supposed to come to the house to put the kids to sleep, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Oh, by the way, he had an affair, and I don't know to what extent. According to him, it was not sexual, but at this point, I'm believing it's sexual.
So besides that just divorce is complex, why would you stay?
I am very traditional, and I really believe in the family unit. However, I'm also a feminist, and I am, how can I explain it? That's like literally where I'm at, like really understanding. I even had a conversation with my daughter, and I felt ashamed for how he has treated me, which there was a lot of verbal abuse. And I'm at a point that I still want to save the marriage, but at the same time, because of the natal analysis, I know that I'm very strong and I need to let that out.
What is the very last thing you said?
Oh, and I need to like be me. And this natal analysis was done in July. And at first I was really pissed off. Like I was like, no, that's not me. I was in denial. And I've been hearing it over and over again. And I realized that it is me, that there's been a lot of codependency, a lot of emotional abuse. And I need to stand up for myself. And that's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to say that the photo that you have on your account is beautiful. It says, you got this. And I want to reflect that back to you. You got this. Oh, and I love that you talked to your daughter. Yes, I'm just jumping in here. I love that you talked to your daughter. I was going to ask you about, yeah, so I hear that you're in some ways traditional and that you value the family unit and you really don't like the way he's treated you. And you're also a feminist. And so often in this kind of situation, part of what I suggest that like, what if this were happening to your child and your child were in this position? What would you want for them? So you can give yourself that your own advice.
Fucking leave. I know. I thought of that.
And what are you teaching your kids by what you do? And what do you want them to learn?
And the last before this weekend, 2 weekends before, I broke down because I knew about the affair since like August. And I broke down. I drank and I just told the kids everything without like consciously doing it. And according to him, I did it consciously. And then last weekend, not last weekend, but the weekend before, I ended up just like in destruction mode. And I broke all of that pictures.
Yeah. So, and I wondered that you have the priest, priestess, and artisan talents, and then they can be a little more dramatic. How old are your kids?
What does that mean?
I'll say, look, priest, priestess feels emotions deeply. An artisan, a little more moody, cranky, a little more feisty, angsty. What and priest can be pretty intense. What how old are your kids? I was a little concerned about how old they are.
8 and 11. They didn't see the destruction of the pictures.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad they didn't. 8 and 11 is it's a fairly young age for holding all this. So I want to encourage you to find some other people, some adults that you can get some support from. It might be friends. What's that?
No, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I appreciate that you're here. Yeah, I just want to encourage you to continue to do that. because it's a hard age for them. And you know, they're going to be relating with him too, right? So they're going to be relating with you and relating with him regardless of what happens. And the best thing is if you can find ways of really supporting them while you're supporting yourself through the whole thing.
That's exactly what I'm doing. So whatever happened about 2 weeks ago, that was a turning point for me.
Yeah.
And I have solely, I mean, for my daughter that she's 11, I've been solely focused like on my kids forever. But for the last 6 months, I've been focused on the marriage and about kind of giving him that space because I totally neglected him for a long time.
Yeah, it sounds like it's time to focus on you and the kids and not him and the relationship. And so we've got Henry in line and Susy in line, and yeah, I'm totally biased. I would split up. I'm biased, but I lean towards that. Some things are healable, but that seems pretty messy. So go ahead, Henry and Susy, and then Audrey.
Ella, so hi there. So
Hi.
I'm looking at the spread. I pulled cards while we were talking, and I was looking at it, and I'm not going to go into the cards because it won't mean anything to you anyway, but I'm looking at them as I'm talking to you. And the sense that I'm getting is that you were in an environment. So of course, that's always the case. You know, you're in a marriage, in a family, you're in an environment. And this environment becomes part of you. Or another way of putting that is that you internalize it. Can you keep time for me, Laureli, please? Thank you. You internalize it. And then when it ends, you don't stop internalizing it. It doesn't leave you. So obviously this was an abusive relationship in some, well, I'm saying obviously, but I think you did mention that, yes, that this was at least an emotionally abusive relationship.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think I self-doubted myself for a long time.
Yeah.
Just because of my upbringing. But I think what has happened is that there has been a turning point, and he has he just completely left. And go ahead.
Okay, so so I just wanted to ascertain that I didn't just make that up. So the first strongest hit that I get is to put yourself into strong environments that completely give you new input. So you're probably still in the same house you were in before. So this keeps triggering your neural networks that have been wrought by the abuse. So you have an abused mind, you could say. Just like if you are rich, you have a rich mind. Right? Like people's brains who are rich are different than people's brains who are poor, because these conditions change your brain. So abusive conditions change your brain. So you have that brain now, even though the abuse has stopped in terms of being right there in your home. So get out of the home, get into environments that are very different. And particularly, again, the 3 of water showed up. I don't know why I'm brandishing it. Being playful. And then I also see there's a child showing up, and there's like meditating, connecting with your power centers, like the chakras. So that's so doing some spiritual work, like either yoga or mindfulness meditation, getting out of the space so you can start building new neural networks. The biggest hit that I'm getting is that you're lucky. You're very lucky he left. He set you free. Now, I'm not sure that he has really set you free, but you're freer than if you were in the house. And so I think good for you. So I wouldn't antagonize him. So this sticks. So I don't feel like Laureli that, yeah, you should leave him. He left you. Good for you. Good for you. So I feel like her too, but I'm trying to say I wouldn't use the same words because he left. So I think this is the greatest blessing. Thank God he has set his sights on someone else to do this too, because this has nothing at all to do with you. Now, I'm not saying anything new when I'm saying that. I'm sure that you have read that and you heard that. But
I have, and I can't accept it. I could accept it if there's a turning point on his end, but
don't accept spiritual.
It. Go ahead.
Don't accept it. Don't accept it. Just know it's a fact. You don't have to accept it. You can just say, this doesn't feel like that to me at all, but you can just accept it. So this is the final card. Thank you. This is the final card. So the sun. So this is going to all work out for you. all work out. Just embrace and go with what the gift you've been given, which is to become free. And
Thank
then
you.
learn about, what it was in you that allowed this to begin with.
I already know.
And okay, and then then work around that.
Okay. Thank you.
And I say, you wrote in the chat that he's still aggressive verbally, and you sent me the photo, right? That's you. Yeah. So you probably do. You have priest, priestess, and artisan. They're more fluid. They feel deeply, and he's probably got warrior and sage, and you're totally different. And warrior can be really aggressive, and yeah, just the energy of him. I mean, from that too, I don't recommend that you stay. And you're saying particularly all the abuse, the emotional abusiveness. It's just important that you do some healing so that you know you deserve to be treated well, so you don't re-choose someone like him. Right? You don't have to heal everything, but you need to heal enough. Okay.
When I get there, that's the biggest question. It's like my mind is obsessing over the marriage. It's not obsessing over him, but it's obsessing over the marriage and the way that I've been educated.
Right. And it's priest, priestess can get totally fixated on things. Everyone can. Artisan, like prone to addiction more, like, so everyone can have all these things. But yeah, so it's like working with the things in you that are clinging to something really unhealthy and looking back again, family of origin, and how did this get modeled for you, and how did you learn to do this, and how did you just learn to believe that you deserve this, all those kinds of things. So we've got Susy and Audrey, and then there's someone else that wants to sneak in and ask something too, I think, if we have a little bit of time, but we'll see what we do there. All right, Susy, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Ella. I got that you have past life connections with him. There were situations in which marriages were you just couldn't do them. They were unbreakable. And that opened you up to this cycle of abuse and staying with them in spite of it. What you can do with this sort of thing is to reclaim your energy from him and to give his energy back to him. So it's this.
Oh my God, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we can just do that and everything else. And honestly, I agree with everything else that everybody else has said. You've got to go. So put yourself in this space that is sacred and holy to you. Be grateful for what you have in this moment. So your children are there. You have an opportunity to start again. And then in this space, put yourself up in a big ass throne, just a big, beautiful gold throne, surrounding yourself with silver and gold, like domes, like a geodesic dome, and set yourself in there. You are the ruler of this spot. Okay. And in like one of those little bitty school chairs, the ones that you were never big enough for, that you were always too big for, put him in that. And you can look at this image of him, and he does not get to talk. He does not get to say anything. You look at him in this imagining of you and you say, here is your energy back. And I would include the MF word, but we're being recorded. But you know what I mean. It's like, here is your energy back. I don't need it. I don't want it. It is harmful to me. Give me my energy back. And if you have to take it from him, that's fine. I feel like he's going to struggle with that because he's got this control over you. But you just look at him and say, I want my energy back. And you reach for it and you grab it back and you give his energy back to you. And then in that moment, as you find I feel it in your heart, there's like this great big hole on the right side of your heart, and you can fill in that energy and put your energy back in that heart and cover it with I love cobalt blue, whatever healing color you can come up with. For me, it's cobalt blue. I can see green about you. And then fill it in also with gold and silver. Those are very high vibrational colors. Silver's a conductor. So is copper, but you can fill it in with these beautiful colors so that you can look and see your whole energy body being filled in with this divine healing energy. This is a really quick way to do it, but this is something I want you to take some time to think about it. I can see you hanging out someplace, whether you're having your morning coffee or just, soaking in the tub, and just envision you in a throne, claiming your energy back and giving him his energy back to you. giving his energy back to him so that you can be whole and celebrate who you are. This is your wake up call to stand in your own power. Yes, you are strong, but you've got this cycle through past lives and current lives that is feeding into this. No, you're not good enough. But when you reclaim your own energy, you will understand your own power, and it's actually going to improve your health. There are other people you can reclaim your energy from. Same situation. Chairs, have the conversation, get it back, give them theirs, and breathe into it and relax into it. You do have this, and you have all of us here who will support you in that. Thanks.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, Audrey.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I want to, I'm sorry, yeah, I know it's heavy. I'm just feeling the heavy energy. I got your birthday, so thank you very much. Now, in the Destiny card system, you are the 9 of clubs, and he is the Ace of diamonds. So this shows me that he is not some king or somebody above you. So in the past life, I just mentioned real quickly, in the past life, you guys had a Saturn relationship, but on the very even, a flat line. So again, he is not over you, you're not under him. And then so I see this just to give you a sense of confidence, because you don't have to feel like, oh, he's that thumb over me. A lot of times we do meet a lot of people who are either over us or under us. And in your case, you guys were even. So in this lifetime, you became like a Venus to each other. And which means that it was kind of meant to be that you want to try this marriage relationship or try loving each other. But I want you to know that you want to think back of the days before you met him. You're the 9 of clubs. You were very bright, brilliant, or that you were just full of thoughts. You know a lot about what to say, what to think of solutions for other people. So you were always so smart. And then I think after meeting each other, he's all about he's about a lot of the money issues, right? About being strong, being appearing in front of other people as a leader, or wanting to have some kind of glory upon himself. And then so of course the overall chemistry between the two of you led you to where you are today. I think that from this point on, even though we're very clear about how this relationship is kind of doing damage to a lot of the people involved, but I feel that you are still feeling like, oh, so much to deal with every day, so busy. So perhaps there's that procrastination or postponement. Oh, I can't do it yet. So of course, we are all here, just like Susy was saying, or just like everybody else. We are here to support you. We'll give you the energy. We help you reassure that you are doing the right thing, good for yourself, wanting to be good for yourself. But I know that this relationship has really kind of taken a toll on you. So, I think your husband, he's still kind of indecisive. He says, oh, I'm not sure what I want to do right now, because I did ask him, do you want to get out? Are you trying to ruin this relationship so that you can get out? He said, I'm not sure. So, he's indecisive. But I think, for you talking about love today, there is a lot of that. You may feel like, oh, I just didn't know. I didn't know. That's why I'm still stuck in it. But I would say that from all the teachers over here, I think that this is not a very good, clear, positive energy for you. So, for you to find yourself, we commend you for coming here and wanting to find outlet. I feel that this will still take a little while. And please don't worry about the money, because the money part may not look good. You may say, oh, if I'm on our own, maybe money is going to be a problem, or money is going to be a problem for him or for whoever. So don't measure things by the level of money. Just know that the spiritual happiness is so much more so much more priceless than the financial. I was down to $53 when I was in a marriage because my husband walked out with all the money. Anyway, I'm still here. You know, we can all find our survival. Wherever we go, we find survival. And you are a strong woman. You're very tough and you're very smart. So we have every confidence in you. So this is what I have to say to you today. Best of luck to you.
Thanks so much, Audrey, but I think that she dropped off in the middle. She texted me that she was having trouble with the internet. I tried to call her a couple of times. So I know we've got this in the recording and I'll make sure she knows, and I can put a priority on trying to get there and get this to her. I've got her number. Yeah, I love what you're saying. Yeah. Let's see, and I can probably connect you with her too, the number, so you can probably communicate some too to her after if you want. But yeah. Right, that's Ella. Well, thanks so much, Ella. And yeah, I feel for you of what's going on. Okay, is there anything else anyone wanted to say? I know she's not here right now. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Ella. Okay. Oh, Gio. Yeah. Go ahead, Gio. Hands. Sorry, I'm giving Gio a hard time. Go ahead, Gio.
She always gives Gio a hard time. Well, okay, so this is for Ella when she finally views this recording. I totally agree with much of what everybody said. I think that him leaving is a gift. I think you should appreciate that and run with it. It's probably the best thing that could possibly have happened. That you said it was verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, and codependency. Those are all not what you want in a relationship, to put it mildly. And you know, very good thing to get out of that. Plus, I just also want to reinforce that you know, you're a powerful, strong person and you will figure this out. And I think staying in a marriage where there's very unhealthy things happening is not good for you, and definitely not, as Laureli mentioned, not a good role model for your children. So just sort of a recap of everything that everyone else has said, but I totally agree with all of it from the mental health standpoint. Thank you.
Thanks, Gio. And I put all the practitioners' information in the chat again, and our upcoming online events, and also the link for filling out the feedback form if you want to be entered into the drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. And then we've got someone else that wants to come up briefly. Are you okay, all of you? Just we won't do a full question, I don't think, but just to be here just a few minutes. Pam is here. Pamela is here. Pamela, did you want to come up?
Oh, sorry, can I ask you something? Can we access the recording of this session?
Oh, yeah. So you can. Let me put it in the chat again where it's going to be. I have to get to another spot with faster internet so I can get it uploaded. It's right there in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Pamela. Okay, great. There you are. Let me bring you up here. And I will, Jacqueline, I'm just going to mute you so we don't have the background noise.
So Lorelei, can I just reference those podcasts I posted
go ahead,
so that
Susan.
it's in the recording?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a podcast that explains the basics of what I talked about. That's, I think it's 85 at my, you can find it on my website. And then episode 86 is the meditation that will take you through it. And that's at bluelightninghealing.com. Thanks.
Oops, I posted the thing. I was trying to go copy it for you. Yeah, feel free to post it again if you want. Yeah, there are a couple different things. Feel free to post those. Tell Pamela, yeah, if you want to jump in for a few minutes, go ahead.
Hi. Well, I got a lot out of Ella, so as my situation is probably as long and a lot going on as well. So I don't think there's enough time to really get into it. But yeah, I did get a lot from Ella. I'm leaving a 17-year marriage. I was involved with my son's father. And I'm leaving that situation. Next week actually is my move date. And I'll be moving. I think many of you have seen the post where my son and I are moving out. And in the midst of that, about 6 years ago, I got involved with someone. out of not the needs not being met. From my son's father, I got involved with a female I met online, and that's also dissolving. Someone that I thought was my soulmate and the person that was for me, but with a lot of prying and a lot of just trying to get to the bottom of it, it turns out she just didn't want to raise my disabled son. And so I left that situation as well. So I have like this double like grief going on. And I just don't want to pick these type of people anymore, people that are emotionally unavailable. My attachment type is an anxious attachment type. So I'm like that because of the lack of support I got from my parents. And I tend to meet people that are just detached. They're just emotionally just unavailable.
I'm going to jump in and give you coaching while you're speaking. Say this in past tense. You used to meet people.
Yes, ma'am. I used to meet people that are emotionally unavailable. No longer will I meet them again, but I want to make sure I don't. So what can I do to just, I really believe this move on the other side of this move is my new life and being able to meet. You know, I felt that person might have been my soulmate, the female, but not my life partner, just someone that I got a lesson from, learned from. She introduced me into a lot of, you know, self-help and things like that. And I think that was the reason and the season for her. Oh, I just answered that myself. Thank you. So yeah, that was, yes. But not to run. I want to meet my life partner. What can I do? I need to better prepare myself and just that I don't run into these. I used to meet those type of people, but to make sure I don't run into them again. What can I do?
You're doing great, and the way you noticed the way you were speaking and you changed right there in the moment is proof of how you're integrating new learning. So good job, and that you partially answered your question and noticed it. That's all great. All right, Susie's got something, and some other practitioners here have been with you on this journey and been with you with some other
Thank
questions.
you. Yes, you all have.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Susie.
yeah,
Situation.
yeah. Hey, Pam.
I
I did pull cards for you, and I just see you coming up out of the water like a whale does when they breach. So you are
wow.
coming through, and these realizations are here. Even and that's what amazes me. You're sitting there going, "Yeah, oh yeah, this is why she was here." Okay, and all that. So the process is not bogged down at all. You've broken through, and you see what's going on. We need to get you to a place where you're moved. Okay.
Yes,
So I'm
yes.
sorry. I say we because you know we all support you and love you,
Thank you
and
so
we're all
much.
so energetically there with you. So
Thank
you're
you.
feeling that release and breaking through. You're recognizing this pattern you just said. How can I not attract these sort of people? So you have a deep ancient wisdom about you because this is soul contract, soul lessons that you're learning, and you can call on these ancestors. You've got, oh boy, you've got ancestors and like grandmothers. You have grandmothers like one, two, three, four grandmothers back who understand what you're talking about. She couldn't leave the relationship. She was caught up in it. She's kind of been hanging around now, but she will come forward and help you. Is it on your mother's or your father's side? It feels like mother's side. And she is there, and she actually hangs out with Stevie on those quiet moments. You're like, what is he doing? What's going on? Well, that's her talking to him. So you've got ancient healing at your command. You are healing a lot of past life. And this next few months, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, you're going to be like a lotus, and you're going to just start opening up to your possibilities. You're looking and seeing what you need to do, and the moving out is great to remove yourself. I recommend doing that energy reclamation, um, and pulling your energy back from the dad and giving his energy back to him, and even the woman. do that, because that's going to help you fill in, and you're finding this unfoldment happening. You're going to see all these new possibilities. You got to get past this one. You got to get past this move, and then you can open up and settle in. And that's what I've got.
Thanks, Susie. Audrey's ready.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I commend you for you're mentally so ready to do this, and as you're talking with us, it just makes me it gives wanting to
Sorry, Pam, I'm going to mute you because we can't hear Audrey, okay? Okay, go ahead, Audrey.
Okay, all right, great. Yeah, so the spirit guy wants to say that you have been kind of like on this rolling hill or rolling water or rolling whatever. So that means perhaps a lot of the situations are kind of in between, not really sure, in transition, or whatever reason that you may tell yourself or other people tell you, like, oh, not ready yet. So that perhaps gives you, because you want everybody to feel good. You want to be harmonious. You want to be nice. And then so that was another reason why you didn't want to just cut it. But I would say eventually in our lives, we all come to a point to say, okay, yes, I learned a lesson. I know now. I know I need to go. Or, okay, yeah, so I'm moving on to the next phase of my life. So you are coming to that point now. I would say that it could be a very clean rep. So you can say, okay, what? There, throw it back. Okay, throw it to your husband, and now you're moving forward. But there's still some of that rolling hill that you're still in, like halfway down the hill. So you just need to finish doing some of the stuff. Don't be afraid, and don't procrastinate any further. And you know that you can do it because you are so together. Again, so many times we are dragged down by our circumstances. That's because those are our lessons. And so loving somebody, okay, so the universes or the lady of the spirits says, these are people that you met, and then you can just kind of like throw them over your shoulder. Every time you meet somebody who is not right for you, throw it over your shoulder. And this is an experience called kind of like a speed dating or something experience. So just do it. It is not going to hurt you deep down inside. I know that, believe me, I'm not minimizing your hurt. I understand that it is, but I know that you can get down to the bottom, the foothill of the mountain, and then start a new phase of your life. That is what I see here for you. And none of the two partners that you have right now are meant to be the soulmates or the partners, right? So, okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey. All right, Henry's next.
Okay, Pamela. So I pulled a card that I think I think you probably can't see it from where you are. Can you see this from where you are? It's like this woman, and she's standing in a circle, or they are standing in a circle, magic circle, and doing an invocation. And if you put your email in the chat, or send it to me in the chat, I will send you this card, because this is you right now.
Okay.
So because I want you to see the face, because that's to be you. And so this person, it's not just about the action, right? So anyone can draw a magic circle and stand themselves in the middle of it and say, this shall be. Anyone can do that. But the difference is, who are you being while you're in the circle, whether it shall be or not? Anyone can say the words. So for example, if you're this, you can stand in the circle all day long and nothing's going to happen, because this is not where you're yet, right? So this is an embodiment of that. And that's what's next for you. Like literally this card tells the entire story, like just you seeing this image. This is the embodiment of owning your power. So there's no question that you're powerful, and you know you're powerful. But there's this thing where we feel like we got to set our power down in order for something to happen. Like oftentimes we check our power at the door because our partners can't be with it, or because we think they won't love us the way we want to be loved, or we think that maybe we will be too tough or too wild or too crazy or too big or too something, like, right? Like even, I mean, somebody doesn't even have to tell me that they'll be worried that I'm going to be too much. I am worried I'm going to be too much because, whoa, I'm so powerful, right? So now is the time.
Yes, that's me. I feel like I'm too much.
Yeah.
They tell me I'm too much.
Past
But
tense,
they know
past
that
tense.
I was too much. Oh no.
In the past
I
tense,
used
right?
to be.
Yeah. And the thing is that, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to tell you something really quick. I had this friend who was, and I may have mentioned this before, I don't know, who was this larger than life person. When he would come into the room, he would just suck the energy out. Or if I would invite him to a party, pretty soon the party was all about him. It's like everybody would just coalesce around him, like, excuse me, it's my birthday. And so sometimes I was frustrated with him. And until I saw him on stage. When he was on stage, he filled that stage, and the audience was swept up with him. And that's exactly what you want. So when he was at my house, he didn't have the stage. So you just need to hear this circle. This is also your stage. Like, say that you're on the stage, recognize that you're on the stage, and claim it and fill it. Because when you're on the stage, you can never possibly be too much. You know, all these people that are on stages, how they're going back and forth in order to just fill the whole stage, because this is expected and needed and wanted. So there are places where your bigness and your power and your energy is needed and wanted. Put yourself there.
Thanks so much, Henry. Yeah, so Pamela, if you want to say something.
Yes, can you give her my email address, Lorelai?
I did.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
I did.
much. And can you save the chat for me, please?
Oh yeah, we can do that. And
Thank you so much.
I say too, you've been attempting to step in to run some events over the last year. And you know how it hasn't gone. I think that when you're in the space where you own, right, that you can fill a stage, it will go much better, right? You don't want to make yourself small to try to meet these people that aren't meeting you and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so Gio's got something too.
I agree with what everybody said for sure. And so there's not much to add, except for I did pull 2 of these cards because I just love the wisdom in this deck. And I wanted to get it in the recording because it's just good info. So one of them, and this, since Pamela, since you said your issue is a little bit similar to Ella's issue, so these 2 cards go for both of you guys. Just stuff to remember. So this one is about maintaining boundaries, because this is a big part of what's an issue for a woman who isn't sure about a relationship, and, you know, should she stay or should she go, even if she's being abused or even if it isn't quite right. You have to maintain boundaries. So the wisdom on the card is I will, future Lorelei, right? We got to use positive speaking in the future. I will gain a new awareness of those areas in which I need healthier boundaries. I will release my naive assumption that the other person is always right. I will exchange that view for trusting and listening to myself and setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. So that's one. And the other one is, this is a message for everybody. Good way to close the evening. Being lovable. I mean, this is just good information. So today I will tell myself that I'm lovable. Just because some people haven't been able to love me in ways that worked doesn't mean that I'm unlovable. I've had lessons to learn, and some of them have hurt deeply, but I can still love, and I can still love, and I still am loved.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's perfect. Pamela, if you wanted to come on and say anything else, go ahead. You don't have to. Be safe. That's the number one thing. Be safe here.
Yes, thank you. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. That I am loved and I am lovable.
Yep, I agree. That's totally great. And I'm putting the link in the chat again too. We have a GoFundMe to support Pamela and her move. Some funds, some household goods, and she's getting her business started again. Do you want to say what your business is that you're restarting?
Yes, my masks. I'm going to continue to make these, and I'm going to do some custom design work. And also, I started making some designer bonnets and any alterations.
And can you
I'll be
say a little
doing.
bit about what custom design work might be so people know if it's them to come to?
Yes, yes. I really specialize in plus sizes that are hard to fit and find clothing. And I can either take something that you have off the rack and alter it, or completely make something for you. So that's something I've gone to school for. I went to design school in New York, and I lived and worked in New York for 12 years in the design industry.
Yeah, I was looking at your website. I saw all this history and all these things you've done. So yeah, this is great.
Yes.
So thanks for sharing. Yeah, who you are and what you're up to.
Thank you all so much.
What's the website?
I'll-
The Divine. Oh, Laureli, I'll give it to you. The Divine Design.
I know I had it before. I can't quite get it. Let me try one more thing. I have it exactly right. Can you spell it?
The Divine, DIVINE Designs, DESIGNS.com. The Divine Design.
Yes, I thought there's another D in front of it, right? Okay.
Yes.
I know I'm typing something wrong. I can't get it to come up.
And then I'm on Facebook as well.
No, that's where I hit. Yeah, so let me go do one more quick search. All right. I know I had it up before. Oh. All right, I'm going to Facebook. I'll get here.
At Facebook, I'm under The Divine Designs Fashionable Mask.
All right, well, we're going to work on your social media presence. I'm having a hard time finding things. I'm having some weird connection issue over here. That's me. All right.
I tried to find it, but I'm just not getting it right. So it's D as in the letter dog, and then
Yeah,
divine.
Divine.
Design.
D as in diva.
It's just not coming
I
up.
found it. I got it.
Okay, all right.
Designs plural. All right. That's what I was not. There we go.
Designs.
All right. So that I went to the About Me page, but that gets you to the website, everyone.
Okay.
At thedivinedesigns.com. All right, great.
Thank you all so much.
So yeah, thanks for jumping in. And Pamela and I had some text back and forth. And so yeah, thank you for coming in and asking that question.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right. Thank you so much for supporting us in our process of the panel and take off spotlight. Well, thank you much, everyone, for being here and supporting us to have this panel and be of support to others. It was great being here and doing this. I'm going to, let me say just a little bit about our upcoming events, and then we'll have all the practitioners introduce themselves on the way out and mention their specials, which I've got all in the chat recently. So we have on this Saturday, we have a MeWe training panel. There's no theme, it's on anything and everything. I think is that Henry and I think are holding space, we have 6 practitioners on the panel that will be answering questions, and it's half price to ask a question because they're all in training. They may be sharing new modalities, or they're new sharing their work, or they're getting used to being on stage and getting practice. So that's this Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. On Monday, we have a panel on animal communication and healing. That starts at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Tuesday, October 26th, we have our fair. We have 16 practitioners, 5 to 9 p.m. And Nissa is probably going to feel well enough to join us in the first hour, so you'll get a chance to see her. But Gio and I are going to run the whole fair. So yeah, 16 practitioners that you move around from breakout room to breakout room, talk to practitioners, lots of talks. We do a small intuitive panel for free. If it's your first time, you may ask a question quickly. You'll get on, maybe you get your question up. And then next Wednesday, we have a metaphysics and intuition practice circle for strengthening your gifts. I can't remember right now who's holding that one with me, but we hold space while people do readings and healings on each other. And then in-person fairs, we have Saturday, Sunday, November 2021 in Portland, Saturday, Sunday, December 4 and 5 in Bellevue. And then I also help run the BEPC Expo, and that is November 6 and 7. Lots of stuff going on right now, like get all these in-person things gone. And we will be wearing masks, and in BEPC and our Bellevue Fair, we're also going to just FYI, everybody need to either be vaccinated and show that you're vaccinated, or have a negative COVID test in the 3 days before. Portland, it's just masks. All right, practitioners, let's reintroduce yourselves and make sure to say all that you do and your contact info, and feel free to share your special. The people here can take advantage of that. And I'm going to put the link in the chat again. Please fill out the feedback form. We appreciate it very much. Well, I guess we'll just go in the same order. I think we were Audrey and Henry and Susie and Gio.
Great, thank you. It's been a wonderful evening. So glad to be here always. My name is Audrey Lee. I'm at audreyleemetaphysics.com. I specialize in astrology, numerology, tarot, destiny cards, and of course, mediumship, talking to the spirits, at any kind of a stage. Okay, so anyway, I love talking to people, and I also teach classes. I have the Monday night meetup where we talk about different subjects, and then of course I do private readings. Today I have a special for $20 for 30 minutes. So feel free to ask any question. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Audrey. Henry?
Oh, I haven't even been mute. Crazy. Okay, henryandjoholden.com is where you can get a hold of me, where you can find out my typical rates, the kind of services I make available, where you can book an appointment. All of it is all on my website. I'm a certified life coach, and I did this a lot before I got into the tarot, and it wasn't spiritual enough. It felt too psychological. So now I really love to mix modalities of spiritual directing, because oftentimes people really, what's missing is having a deeper relationship with their higher self, or with the divine, depending on what you want to call it. And also the tarot, which can just bypass intellect and the stories we already have to get to our imagination. And imagination not as in fantasy and making it up, but imagination as in reaching beyond what we typically think. And so I use these 3 different modalities to help us in any way that the help is needed. I specialize in helping people discover their life mission or their purpose, and in becoming more in alignment with their true divine self, and or creating a stronger relationship with God. I spell it out because sometimes people get triggered by that, or however you understand that. And my special from MeWe is, so if you say that you've seen me on the MeWe, I have a really great special, and you'll have to remind me of it, because this is much lower than my usual price. So you'll have to remind me that's the special. It's $20 for a 30-minute session and $30 for a 50-minute session. And that's it.
Thanks,
Oh, wait, Anne Shorman, thank you for the Reiki that you've been sending me. I think it's really helped, because I'm very surprised I'm not feeling worse. I feel a little better than when I started.
Thanks, Henry. Thanks, Anne. And Henry, if you didn't say it, you have another tarot course coming on November.
Yes. Yes, November 13th. It's a Saturday. It's 4 Saturdays in a row, starting November 13th. It's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to do 2 decks, the deck that I'm developing, and also the basic Weightsmith, just so we have a universal language where most decks are based on that anyway. My deck's not, but most decks are. So yeah.
That's 11 to 1 Pacific time.
Yes, Pacific time. And it just would be fantastic if you wanted to join me. You basically learn how to read the tarot, for yourself, for your family, for friends, for clients. And it's specifically intuitive tarot. We also talk about the official meanings, but it's mainly how to use your intuition.
Great, thanks, Henry.
That somehow is intuition.
Susie.
I'm Susy Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to explore such amazing topics here with Laureli and Audrey and Gio and Henry. This just, I love it. And I appreciate the vulnerability everyone showed tonight too. You can find me at bluelightninghealing.com. On October 30th, I'll be doing an all-day online event called Jumpstart Your Spirit and Your Journey. If you can give me an hour to get that registration link up on my website, I had trouble with WordPress today, but I'll get it up there. That's $79. I think as a starting price, and I'll be talking about meditation and opening to channel, and that's what I do. I channel, and I believe it's something everybody can do, so I bring guides through in a way that makes it accessible so that you can go, oh, that sounds like something I can do, because I'm teaching from my experience. I also do energy healing. I can do body scans. I did a lot of what it is I do tonight. So past life exploration, reading cards. I'll be showing up at some of these in-person events like at BEPC. Yeah, check my website. I've got the things I need to do on there. And then my podcast page is going to become searchable. Thank you to Annie Anderson for making that happen. My special tonight for this event is you can get 20% off an hour session. The code is 60 MEWE 20, so 60 MEWE 20. And I think that's it. Thank you all so much, and many blessings to you.
Thanks, Susie. Gio.
Hello. I'm going to wing this and not read my blurb. I'm getting bored with that. So anyway, it's great to be here. My name is Gio. I am coming from a little bit different place from many of the other people in that I actually am trained as a therapist, but I am now opening up to the more intuitive side of things. I realize that the way that I've been doing therapy for the past 10 years is extremely intuition based. I tend to think in analogies, which I get as kind of instantaneous downloads, which I never realized that that's actually intuition at work. Duh. So when I'm doing therapy with people, I have a sense of knowing of just what's going on with them. Plus, I have a master's in it. So I've been studying human behavior most of my life. Actually, I've been interested in relationships and psychology ever since I was a teenager. And I'm old now. So I know a lot about human behavior and patterns of interactions between people is specifically my specialty. So that could be parent-child, it could be employer-employee, or it certainly could be dating, marriage, those kind of friendships or relationships. I'm an analytical problem solver by nature. I gather data. I try to figure out what's going on. What is driving the cycle that I see happening? And people come to me because they're stuck. They don't like the cycle that they're trapped in and they want a way out. And so I use all different ways of enlightening and sharing and teaching about what's happening with the cycle, how to break the cycle, giving insights and ideas. And then lately I've also been using tarot. I read with traditional meanings, but I also engage my intuition and the intuition of the person I'm reading for to basically say, like, does that feel right or not? Like, I have a way of incorporating both sets of intuition so that you definitely get a meaningful message for you out of the cards. I help you get to that point. Not psychic, just helpful. So let's see, I have a Facebook page, Intuitive Therapy with Geo. I can be reached by my phone number, which keeps appearing in the chat. I also work for Laureli. So if you contact anything having to do with MeWe fairs, you'll find me Geo at thrivewise.com.
Thrive-wise.com.
thrive-wise.com. I don't normally say that. But anyway, I'm Laureli's bookkeeper, so I can also be reached through Laureli. Basically, that's the easy way to say that one. So thank you very much for letting me be here today.
Thanks, Geo. And this is Geo's first time leaping onto a regular panel from the training panel.
Well, I was going to say that. Yes,
great
this
that
was
you
my
wanted to
first
do it.
real panel.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. Yeah, you're getting more confident. It's really good. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, matchmaker, conscious online dating coach. You can find out tons more about me and all that I'm doing at LaureliShimayo.com. That's spelled LaureliShimayo.com. I've got coaching. I got a website on my archetypes and thrive types. We've got the MeWe Fairs website. I've got more websites I'm developing right now, intuitive eye readings, and so much stuff going on. All right. Great to be here with all of you. We look forward to being with you again. You can learn about all of our events at MeWeFairs.com. That's MEWEFAIRS.com. And if you want to see the online events in particular, go to jointhefair.com or joinmeweonline.com, and you will see all those. Thanks, Geo, for getting those all posted on that page. And you'll have information on all the practitioners that will be there at the fair coming up soon. Thanks, everyone, so much. Put us on gallery with everyone that's left and turn off the recording.